Morning, Soldier Boy here, and welcome back to RoadCraft for what is live stream number 36. I want to say I could be very wrong there. That's not a good start, is it? Good morning, Soldier Boy here, and welcome back to RoadCraft for what is live stream number 36. I was right. As we carry on from Monday morning stream, Monday we continued with the final map of the base game, which was or is Kernel. This map is proving to be not difficult but time-consuming because you can't really get anywhere without building roads. The actual terrain is so bad. We tend to have to build roads everywhere just to navigate the map. But we continue on today. I don't expect us to finish the map today. I'll be very surprised if we actually do. I think there's 4 parts to Kernel, the final map, before we start DLCs, and we've already done 1. But I think we may get another part done today, but we definitely won't finish the map today. I'm pretty sure. I'll be very surprised if we did. But we'll do what we can. We'll just continue on doing as much of the missions as possible, and as we make our way through, we get closer to starting DLC. Also, I'm going to put something in chat in a minute just to remind people the channel update is live tomorrow afternoon at 5 PM GMT. Massive thanks to everyone who's watched the Far Cry New Dawn video that went live yesterday. I hope you're enjoying the series. It's one of those games that I think a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to Far Cry. I found all the other games are talked about quite a lot. That one seems to be flying under the radar a little bit, but yet the story follows on from number 5, which is interesting. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The story is actually really good. It is surprising me how many people don't talk about it. That's the bit I don't understand. But there we go. So it's one where you've got to listen to adverts for your own stream. Right, I'm just doing all the bits I need to do. But yeah, so channel update tomorrow. We'll talk about how September has been for the channel, and we'll talk about what our plan is for October. There is also a half term of October as well, so we're going to discuss that at the same time. But we'll see. But yeah, it should be okay. We will be having a vote at some point soon to determine its main live stream game. Obviously, Ghost of Utah we're not doing on release as voted for by you guys. You all decided not to do it on release and give it a month so we don't ruin the story for anyone. So that is the plan. Thanks for the like, was much appreciated. So yeah, we won't be doing it on release. That's why we vote on these things. But we'll add it to the vote. When we do a vote in October, we'll add it to that vote. And we'll start it whenever we finish this. We have also got the DLC to Star Wars Outlaws. Now, I know a lot of people have criticised Star Wars Outlaws. I actually enjoyed it for what it was. But then I know a lot of people expected you to have powers and all this stuff, and I wasn't expecting any of that. So for me, I enjoyed it for what it was. The first DLC they did, I openly said I didn't like it. It was boring. It ended really within like a couple of hours. I think we did it in one stream. It was ridiculous. The second DLC, I don't know anything about it, but I know it's released, and I want to do it because obviously we've done the base game and the first DLC, so I kind of want to, do things properly and fully. So that's something we do need to look at some point, and then we need to figure out what we do with Elden Ring. We've got the DLC still to finish. There's too much going on, far too much. Although admittedly, there's not many games coming up that I actually look at and go, I really want to play that. It's really weird. There's not much for the rest of this year that I've seen and go, actually, I want to play that. So we'll see. Obviously, the new Mafia game is out. We haven't played that yet, although we've done the other 3 games on the channel, episodically, admittedly. And also, the new Dying Light game is out. And again, we've done the other 2, but haven't done that. So lots to think about, lots to try and work out. But there will be some upcoming votes for you guys as well. So we're now currently 87 hours in to RoadCraft. We are max level at level 20. Can't go any higher than that. That means all vehicles can now be unlocked and used. We are on the Kernel map. 28% complete. 3 of 17 infrastructure requests. 10 of 33 main missions and 2 of 9 side objectives. The map is just about fully open. There's a bit in the top right hand corner we probably do need to go and have a look at. The hardest thing about this is getting around. The roads are so bad, we have to build roads everywhere to traverse. Obviously, that's time consuming. But as I said on Monday's stream, I'm really happy that the final map isn't easy. I think when you get to an end of the game, you don't want it to be easy. You want still that challenge to be there to actually encourage you to finish. Soja and the penultimate map I thought was really easy. It didn't really have many challenges as such. Whereas this one, I do feel there's a lot more challenges, mainly because of lack of being able to get around. So you are spending a lot of time making roads, which I know some people find tedious. But I think for your own benefit, it's better to do them as you go. That's the thing. So let's have a look at what we need to do. I think we're finishing off this road and then the Monday morning stream. I forgot actually what we've done Monday. I didn't actually talk about that, did I? Carried away. So Monday we continued on this map. We delivered the logs to the logging station as a side objective we got quite early on. The 15 logs delivered. We headed to Northlock Village. We cleared the area to radio tower, and then more things appeared because of that mission being done. That mission then turned into lots of other mini missions. So we needed tokens to unlock the quarry so we could build the road that was required. To do that, we had to go and do the archaeologist mission, and then we built several roads around the village of Northlock, and that's where we kind of continue from today. So this is the village of Northlock. Last stream we did this road along here to the radio tower. We actually extended the road it wanted us to build. I think it was here to here, and we extended it all the way to the radio tower. We know there's going to be a convoy, so it made sense to extend. We then also did this bit here and up around here, and then obviously this mission still wants us to do this road here as well, which we now just need to finish off. I think we just need to roll it by the looks of things. And we also cleared this area up here using a brand new heavy crane, which has got a different grabber essentially. I think that's my little boy saying this at school. It is indeed. Right. So I think today we need to roll this road out and then see what we've got to set the convoy up afterwards, and while that's starting doing its thing, we'll have a look at what's next. Mission wise, supply Northlock Village with resources. We still need to do that, although that requires resources we currently don't have, especially the concrete slabs. There's logs we can do, steel beams we can make, and we can deliver the vehicle, but we're missing the slabs currently. Supply the archaeologist camp. 2 different items need taking there. This is the mission we're currently on. Prepare the route from the southern tunnel to the village. This is still continuing on from doing the radio tower. Still need to build a flood wall around the machine yard. Bring additional antenna to the village's surroundings. Plan a route for concrete supply. That's probably going to require a road as well. And find the 5 archaeological sites. We tend to do one main mission followed by a side mission as and when we can. So we'll do this main one we're currently on, set the route up, and then we'll have a look at what side mission is best for us to do next as well. So, after all that talking, with this road is what we need to finish. I don't know where my roller is actually, thinking about it. Are we... yeah, it needs rolling. Okay, so we need to go to the garage, which is just here, and get a roller. I don't think... we'll get the Yarding Roadworks. Where are you currently? Oh, already here, because we did the other road, didn't we? There's me thinking it's miles away. It's not. It's because we did the other road, so it's already here. So we start by rolling the road we did on the last stream, and then we will set the convoy up and we'll go and do something else while that's doing its thing. There should be no issues with that convoy. The amount of road we've made, that convoy should be absolutely fine to do everything. But you can never foresee everything, so we'll see what we do. Kind of missed that corner there, didn't I? So we made this corner a little bit bigger just to allow for turning and all that kind of stuff. This roller isn't wide enough to do all in one go, so what we'll do is stick to the left hand side and we'll come back on the right. We may even need to go in the middle as well. But yeah, we're having to build a lot of roads, which I don't mind doing, to be fair. I do enjoy making the roads, but it makes sense to do them as we go, I think, more than anything else. I had a message from someone the other day saying, you know, don't build the roads, just do the missions. I thought, well, the missions do require roads too. But on top of that, we can't always navigate around places without roads. And the terrain in this final map is horrific, really, compared to other maps. So, but I do think we're making good progress. I was surprised how much progress we made on Monday, to be honest, with what we needed to do. But I think a lot of that was clearing the radio tower, getting that nearly back up and running as well. All we can do is continue on and just see how we go. And just do things as they come up. I don't think we'll finish this today, as I said at the start. I think I'd be very surprised if we finish this map today. Like, extremely surprised. I just don't think it's doable. exactly how much is left to do. May have it done by the end of the week, but I still don't think that's possible either. I think we'll probably be doing this map still next week, at least at the start of next week, and then maybe from there we move on afterwards. I'm looking forward to DLCs, mainly because of the vehicles we're not using until we start DLCs, the ones that were added in as part of the DLCs. So the two bridge vehicles, I think they're called bridge layers. I'm interested to see how they work. And also we've got the kit vehicles as well, which are vehicles we already own, but a different livery, I think, or maybe a different loadout to them. I don't know. We'll have to have a proper look once we get to DLC. But yeah, I'm hoping the DLC maps are as good as the base game ones have been as well. So we know this always leaves an edge. That's why we're kind of overhanging a bit where possible. We did make this a little bit narrow here. We've just got to be careful when setting the road up, and we allow for that there. It's been a good one though to do this. At least Northlock Village then will be accessible a lot easier. And it's just we've got to decide where's next and what do we need to do to be able to get there. That's the big thing. Because a lot of the time it's not about doing the mission itself. It's how do you make it to where it wants you to go? How do you get the stuff there? You know, the mission itself is just a general broad thing to achieve. But sometimes there's a lot more to do before you can actually even achieve that. That's the thing. Like the convoy here, this road was needed, but the rest of it wasn't. It didn't tell us we needed to do it. But at the same time, if we didn't do it, the convoy would never make it. That's the thing. So it's all well and good not doing roads if it's not asked for. But at the end of the day, if the convoy can't make it because you haven't built the road, you know, how's it going to work? There's nothing worse than keep going back, and we've got that experience of going back, constantly redoing it until the road actually works properly, until the convoy makes it. You know, we've pushed vehicles just to get them to complete, and that's annoying and kind of unrealistic. So I'd rather make the road as we go and make sure we're doing it properly where we can. Obviously, there are some times that roads don't help, but we'll do what we can. Yeah, probably enjoying this so far. It's one of those games that I know not everyone is going to enjoy. I think some people will dislike the slower pace. But yeah, so far I've really enjoyed it as a whole. But then I do like games like SnowRunner and things like that, so I don't mind the slower pace. I like having to solve problems as well. I think that helps. You know, you've got a mission to do something specific, but you need to solve a problem to be able to facilitate that. I like that kind of thing. So we're just going to roll the road out. Messed up, didn't I? And then we will get this convoy started, and while the convoy is doing its thing, we'll then go and do something else. But yeah, we do try and alternate between main and side where possible. We might need to sell some things in the shop for the first time, just so we can actually, although we've got money, buy the concrete slabs that are needed to supply Northlock Village, to be fair. Because I haven't seen the concrete place yet, and I'm surprised we've not seen it. And it may be similar to the trees. Maybe we can't make concrete here, same as there's not many trees around. So it's something we need to have coming in via a convoy. But we don't know that yet. There may be a mission sharp in a bit that says that the rewards of the concrete slabs, like we did with the trees. To be fair, that's why we got 15. You can't. There's not many trees on the map to cut down either. That's the thing. Right, with one more run, we just need to go back and do the middle bit, have that rolled out, and then we can set this convoy up. The road is quite wide in some places, just to allow for turning, and also if we need to pass an oncoming vehicle, because they don't stop. They do enjoy just hitting us as hard as possible, beeping the horn aggressively until you're out their way. To be fair. Right, make sure we get it all. You will see once we complete the actual bit it wanted us to make it. If there's a little bit unrolled, it will roll it automatically. I did notice that the other day when we had missed a little tiny bit and it suddenly appeared rolled. That's because once you complete the actual bit it wants you to make, that's what it does. So we do try and get every little bit ourselves. There are bits that there's a lot of sand and we haven't tarmac. It's just the way it was. We went past it, to be fair. I don't like leaving bits like that. But sometimes we miss these little bits. And to be fair, if it's just an edge, it's not tarmac, it's not too bad. It's not like it's going to affect what we're doing. We still don't know if we're going to need to break a road up at some point, because we might need power lines. It's the one thing I've always been worried about whenever you do make roads, is that sometimes when you have to break it up just to put power line in and then redo it. But that hasn't happened to us yet. It's always been a worry of mine that it will. Lots of tyres around still, I've noticed. That's what makes me think maybe we need to buy the concrete slabs, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's flashing yellow, which means it can't be recycled but can be sold. That's what's making me think maybe that's the purpose. And it's not something we've had to do on any map so far. Throughout the whole base game playthrough, we've not actually bought anything or sold anything in the shop because it's not been needed. Always managed to recycle or cut down trees and stuff. So it could be interesting to see if that's what we have to do on this one. But it makes sense though. Some places aren't going to have the resources needed to rebuild. So you need to find another way of getting them to you. And yes, it'll be an expensive way of doing it, but if they can't make their own resources, what choice do you have? Okay, we nearly there. I think it will complete after this bit here, or there might be one other bit that's blue. Blue means it's complete. Okay, no, there's another bit near the end, I think. But I think we've done good with these roads. We have definitely built more roads on this map than we have any other map even already. Including our longest continuous road as well. Okay, this will be the end point here, and then we can set up the convoy. There we go. Plan a route for the convoy with provisions.
So, you think it's time to handle Northlock's food supply problem? About time, too. I heard they've been rationing coffee for a while now. Just the thought of rationing coffee makes me sweat. The food convoy would be there by now, but radio interference has messed up their nav systems. Plan a route from the southern tunnel to guide them to Northlock Village. The coffee must flow.
That's been the whole reason of doing this road, because we noticed straight away we'll need a convoy as this mission kept changing. And the easiest way to do anything is with a convoy is with a road. So we're going to need to plan this from the southern tunnel, which is just here. And then we need to get it to the village itself. So we want to make sure we're in the middle of the road where possible. It looks like they're driving a Wayfarer, which is the worst vehicle in the game I've found so far. So we need to make sure we allow for that when it's turning. It's quite a long vehicle with the trailer on the back as well. But yeah, this is the worst vehicle they could be driving, which is why the road, I think, is actually going to be a saving grace here. And the reason we extended it was just in case they were going to use this vehicle, because it would not make over any terrain that isn't tarmac. Essentially, it would just not get through. Hence why it's the worst vehicle in the game. So at least we know we should make it without any major issues, unless it turns weirdly on a corner. That potentially is the only thing I think that can possibly go wrong now with this route. But we need to make sure we are properly on the tarmac here, otherwise it will get stuck. So yeah, if it turns weirdly, maybe it will go wrong, but we won't know that until we get going. I don't know why it's going off the side like that. But yeah, hopefully we can do this without any problems, based on how we've made the road, to be fair. I think we've been quite neat with it. We don't try and rush these roads. We try and do them neatly. Some of the corners may look a bit, not neat, but the other version of neat, untidy, shall we say. But that's because we were trying to make them wide enough to rotate round like this vehicle will have to. But also if we need to get round at the same time the vehicle's coming towards us, it allows for that too. Well, where's the end points there? Oh, okay, I've just seen a problem. We haven't tarmacked to the actual... I thought it was going to the radio tower. It's not. There could potentially be an issue here. It all depends how this does coming into here. It's quite solid ground, but I know what the Wayfarer is like, so we'll have to keep an eye out and see if that can make it. all we can do is wait and see, can't we? Thank you for the like, it was much appreciated. Right, dispatch vehicle, that is now up and running. We will leave that to it. Let's have a look at what's next then while that's doing its thing. We head to side missions next. Bring additional antennas to the villages surrounding. Let's have a look at this one. So we've got two antennae that need dropping there and there. And my only concern is how we get there, to be fair. There is a kind of off-road bit here, potentially. But I think we might have to come through the village. This is not the easiest thing to navigate this here, to be fair. If we say we come up here, that goes around there but doesn't come up. No, I suppose you could go round and come up this way. And how big are these antennae? That's the question, isn't it? They look quite large, so I'm just trying to think what vehicle we could use to get them into, to be fair. What is our best thing to do here? What vehicle have we got here? That's a scout vehicle, isn't it? We've got a big crane here we can use, to be fair. We need something that's manoeuvrable and probably needs a crane of its own. I think we're going to have to use the mule or something similar. I don't think the mule's out and about at the minute. The Voron was, but I don't know if we put that back. Thank you for the like, it was much appreciated. Let's see what we've got. The Voron and the mule are both out. No, the mule. Okay, sorry. That mule there is actually a vehicle for a mission, hence why the little tick is next to it. The Voron, where are you at the minute? All the way at the archaeologist camp. I think this will be 2 journeys. I think to pick these up, potentially, I think we could only do this with 2 different journeys. I don't think we're going to do it in one. Mainly because the only vehicle that can carry both at once doesn't have a crane. And obviously we're going to have to unload them. So let's grab the mule from over here. Our actual mule. And we will see if we can manage to take at least one of these to where it needs to go now. And then we may have to drive back and grab the second one. As I say, it's the unloading makes me think we're going to need a crane. And because of that, we only really have 2 choices. And that is the Voron and the mule. But since the Voron's already out, we'll leave it where it is in case there's something we need to do there. So we need to drive down our road that we did, go all the way to the logistics over here and pick these up from there. Or pick one of them up at the very least. Getting there shouldn't be a problem. As I say, we've built a big road network so far, so that should be absolutely fine. That convoy's still doing its thing. I haven't seen anything bad appear, so I'm assuming it's going well. Now we've used the mule quite a bit all the through the game, mainly because for a while this was the only vehicle that could carry cargo and also had a crane on board. So it was the go-to vehicle for a lot of missions because it made life a lot easier. They're taking 2 vehicles, and then the Voron came around and was added to the game, and that's kind of took over a little bit because it's slightly better. It can carry a little bit more weight than the mule can, and it's a little bit more stable. So it's time for the mule to kind of do a bit more for itself again. It's been a while. But yeah, doing this twice is going to be, I think, a little bit frustrating. But I can't see another way around it without using 2 different vehicles, which essentially is the same as doing it twice. So I think we'll do one, see how we go, and then we may have to come back and do the second. It's going to be annoying because we're already going to be up the mountain for the first one, so then we have to come all the way back down. At least then we'll know the best route to take, I suppose. That's the other thing, isn't it? Okay, that's right hand turns to the warehouse. We're not heading that way, we're in logistics. I've kind of gone a little bit off road there. The rain is coming down heavy once again. But I think we're making good progress. It's just a case of just keep picking the missions one at a time. It failed. How did that fail? Let's have a look what happened. Okay, it's where I thought. I said this could potentially be a problem, didn't I? And it has failed there. Let's quickly jump into a heavy dump truck. I did think that might be a problem. What we're going to quickly do then is refill this out. I'm just going to put some sand on that joining bit there to go in there, and then we'll quickly grab a grader and just smooth it out. I don't think we need tarmac as such. I just think we just need to make sure there is some sand on that bit. I did say the Wayfarer, anything that isn't tarmac is bad. So I think with that regard, we just need to put some sand down. If that still doesn't work and he doesn't like that, we will then have to tarmac it. But I think we can get away with just some sand, to be fair. I say that now, we may not get away with it, we'll find out in a second. Because we can only do a road to a little bit here, it won't allow us to go too close to the building. That's the thing. Right, this one's over here as well. There's a big pile of sand actually. I didn't really want it on the road, but I think I'm going to get a little bit on there at least. Okay. Oh, we're not in the refill zone. Let's get this back out of here, and then I like to always refill these as we go, rather than leave them empty. Normally, I don't know why I left it empty a minute ago. There. Yeah, we'll grab the grader. Right in the quarry site. Hang on. I know it's right near where we are. There we go. I knew it was nearby. Right, our grader is sort of over here, isn't it? I think. The end of the road, yeah. This grader's pretty quick though, so we'll get there pretty quickly, I think. If it was going to fail anywhere, it was that end point. It was always the potential problematic location. Problematic? That makes no sense. The problem area we already established could potentially be a problem. But at the time, there was no reason to do anything, just in case it did make it. Why can we not get anywhere? What's going on? This so far has been a really good grader since we got it. It's one of the final graders you can get. I say actually only the second. There's only 2 graders. The first one you have right at the earlier game. You have to wait until you level up quite a lot to get this one. The first one is okay, apart from any distance you travel. The bucket is really high in the air that you're likely to tip over at times. Whereas this one, because it's low to the ground, you don't have that issue. And it is tracked. And we were told very early on this map that a tracked vehicle is your best bet to get around. We're finding that. Unless you build a road, a tracked vehicle is definitely the go-to. I say that, the mule's got wheels and not tracks, but we haven't got a choice of that because we need something to get up there. I think we also own just about one of every vehicle in the game now. I think there's 1 or 2 small things we haven't got that currently we've not had a use for, so we've not actually brought them. There is the mobile base of operations, which I do want to get at some point, because that also, the new one, allows you to use resources that you've got in storage as well from it, whereas the base game one doesn't allow that. It just allows you to move vehicles to it, but use tokens. The problem with this map is we haven't got many tokens. We've got just enough on our previous mission to open up the quarry. We can actually make these roads, and that's about it currently. There's not much you can do in terms of calling vehicles to you because we don't get the tokens for it. Right, we need to smooth this out as best we can here. May have overdone it with the amount of sand we put down, to be fair. But we need to spread this around as much as we can just to make it a bit more even. If they get stuck again, we'll tarmac this just to make them easier to get up the hill. Because potentially the problem we're going to have is getting up this hill. And even though the sand should be adequate, it may not be enough grip. And it's going to be for the Wayfarer. The other vehicles, smaller vehicles travelling with it in the convoy will probably be absolutely fine. It is the Wayfarer that's the problem. We want to smooth a transition as we can from the tarmac to there. I know we've gone overboard on the sand a little bit here in terms of there is a bit on the road as well. But it won't do the road any harm to have it there, in all fairness. Trying to get it as smooth as we can. I know that any slight change is going to affect the wayfarer, that's the thing, so that's why we've got to try and do what we can here to make this transition as nice as we can. But yeah, this was the only bit I was a bit concerned about in terms of the route. But I thought because they're quite close, it may just make it. Let me see, I was wrong. Right, I think that's okay. We've got a little bit OT with the sand, but just trying to make sure it actually works. So let's go back to the road. I'm going to make it start a little bit further back by clicking on that one. Let's just, what I'm going to do is sit back in our vehicle and just watch this for a second, because this will tell us if we have any issues to deal with. See the small vehicle, oh wow, okay, hang on. Do you see what that just did? It hit the side there, so we've not made the turning. Okay, I know what's happened. It may not be just the terrain that's the issue. I've actually noticed the problem here. Yeah, it's failed anyway. The issue I noticed was actually our route. We've made this a little bit too tight on the turn, so as it's turning in, it's catching this inside bit where the rocks are, which is one of those things you don't really notice on the map as much until you actually get it going. But yeah, there's some rocks there. I think that should be okay. Jump back in our vehicle. It's quite a narrow entrance, so you don't really realise how narrow it is until you're there, really. Right, first vehicle, all good. Wayfarer is next. This is the one we're concerned about. Is it going to make it? Obviously the hill's the problem. It's made it. Smaller truck behind will be absolutely fine. There we go, convoy complete. We've had one little issue, but we've solved the problem with sand. Are you having an issue, or are you going in? Why are you not going in? Did it? Maybe it had to stop on the slope for the Wayfarer, so it lost its speed, and now it's struggling to get up the hill. Yeah, it's struggling, isn't it? Okay. So I'm just going to push it, I think. If it hadn't stopped for the Wayfarer, I don't think we'd have an issue. The hard shove, that one, more than the push. There we go. If it hadn't stopped for the Wayfarer, it would have been fine. I had to give it a little gentle shove. So that is mission complete. So the convoy will continue now. There's still a lot more rewards to gain. Now, I just want to check something. No, it's not happening. So, we had this issue last time during one of these convoys where we weren't getting the extra convoy start. Oh no, it has started. It's there. I didn't see it. It's like a small vehicle. The wood one wouldn't do every vehicle afterwards. We had to keep starting and stopping it. But this one is sending vehicles normally, so that's good. Right, we need to go back to our mule and carry on doing what we were doing. Now the mission's complete. That's ours there. So we're going to go and pick up the first of these antenna. Yeah, I don't think we've got a choice but to do it twice, to be fair. But at least we'll know the right route. But there will be more convoy vehicles going on because we'll still get rewards. So we'll see money keep going up a little bit as well. It's not a massive amount, but it's something. Right, let's have a look how big these antennae are. If we can get both in one, fantastic. But I've got a feeling they're going to be too big. Maybe we might need to put a road here because of all the rain. To be fair, in the mud. The more we use the route, the more that's going to degrade. No, we're not going to get these in one. Can we get these in one? I don't know if we can, you know. Well, if they fit across, potentially we get both of these on at once, which will save us coming back. The downside of that is it could be a little bit dodgy in turns and things, and obviously we're going up a hill, aren't we? So Not sure. Let's have a look at the first one first and see how we go. I am considering trying to take both at once, to be fair. Thinking about them weight as well. I don't seem too bad weight-wise. So I'm thinking what? We put them both sideways here. It's maybe a bad idea. Even if we just get them to the village and then unload one. At least then we're not coming all this way back to logistics. Just to pick more up. The only thing I'm not sure is will it still strap? Spin it round. Turn that way. Trying to get this in the right place. Like I say, if we can take both just to the village, that does solve a problem. Spin round. Right thing to go the one way, isn't it? There we go. That's one. Okay, can we strap this down? If not, we've got to do one at a time. We can strap it. Or I'm tempted. I think because it's mostly road all the way there, because we made a road. It is mainly road, isn't it? It's a bit of track here. Hang on, is it? It might not be actually roads until we get to here. But it's fairly decent track, I think. I think we try and take both. That way we don't have to come back. Even if we chuck one off at Northlock Village, at least it's there and we don't have to go as far to come back, is my thinking. I don't know how weight-wise we're going to do with this, that's the only downside. But I'm just trying to solve the issue of doing this twice. Whereas if it's in the village, it's not as far to travel. Right. We need to unstrap quickly. Yeah, this could go quite badly wrong if we get this wrong here. Although, definitely don't want to be doing what we're doing there. Can't move the crane as much as we normally do because of where we are. I'm going to wish we'd done the other one first, I think. Don't know if I've got the ability to get this as high as we need it. Need to get it over the other one ideally. Yeah, I think we're just about going to manage this. But yeah, however we'll make the journey, I don't know at this point. Come on. I'm stuck on the actual first one, I think. That's the issue. What we'll do is get this one lined up if we can. We might also find the weight's too much for the mule, we don't know that yet. Settle down now. How far off the back is that? Not too much actually. Right, if we detach load, strap, it's on board. We'll know how well this is going to go once we start moving. I'm a little bit concerned. Obviously it's not the ideal way to carry cargo, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the mule. We take it easy, and as I say, we'll probably unload one at Northlock, because that way then we can get up the mountain a little bit easier. Whoa! Okay, I'm going to take this easy. It does save coming back here twice, is my thinking. If we find this gets silly, we'll stop and unload one. But either way, it's going to be closer to the village than we are currently, that's the thing. But yeah, the Vaughan may be a bit better for this because it can carry more weight than the mule can and is more stable. Hence, I think, some of the issues. But it's managing it. It's not overly slow. I'm going slow on purpose, so we don't topple over. It's not overly slow though, but I don't think they weigh very much, which is a good thing at this point. Seeing where we're going is a bit tricky. But yeah, I don't think they weigh a massive amount, these antennas, because I thought we'd struggle a bit more weight-wise, and we're not. They're just a bit cumbersome, and obviously top heavy, which has its issues when you're taking corners and things. But all we're going to do is get to the village, and then we'll take one off anyway, because we're not going to make it up the mountain with this like this, I don't think. We possibly could, but I think it'll go badly. Right. Are we going to wish we'd made this into a road as well? This track's been really good, so that's why we haven't done a road here. It's not been needed as of yet. Doesn't mean it won't be needed though. It will degrade over time. Yeah, it's a little bit unstable, especially on the bumps. All we're going to do is get to the road we made, and then we know we're at Northlock. As I say, the sailors coming all the way back to logistics just to pick another one of these up. Don't be too close to that. I'm actually impressed we've got this far with it, to be honest. I did think we'd have some issues by now, but actually it's actually doing alright. The road's a bit better now, as it's the old tarmac road. Tarmac, asphalt, it's the same thing, just two different words for it. Right, over the bridge. You can see our vehicles are built, our recent road is there, so we're actually nearly just outside Northlock Village. My only other concern here is the convoy catches us up. So, oh, that was a bit dodgy. The convoy's completed another one, so we've got some more money and XP, although we can't go any higher level, I don't think. We are max level now. If the convoy catches up with us on this road, and it will come from behind, it will just smash into us. That's the only concern here, really. Can't really see where the wheels are either. That's the other concern. I'm impressed we've got this far with it, to be fair. I didn't think we'd make it this far. It was worth a shot, but I would not have much hope. I think we've done okay. So it's going to save us a lot of time and effort doing it this way, I think. But I don't think we're going to make it up the hill like this, so we are going to drop one off, I think. We go to the radio tower and drop one there, because that's our entrance to the hill. I think that's our best bet. Nothing like an oversized load, is there? Come on. Yeah, there's no way we're going to attempt that hill like this. But I'm glad we've got it here at least. It's going to save us a bit of time, that's all. Right, follow our road all the way to the village, including our sand bridge. And then to the radio tower, and then we'll unload one. And then we'll come back to it once we've dropped the first one. We'll go to the furthest one first, and we'll come back and grab the second to the closer one. Over the sand bridge. Don't be silly now. Go all this way. The hardest thing is seeing where we're going. I can't see really where the tyres are in relation to the road. Okay. I think this is probably as good a place of any to stop and unload one before we head up the hill. I'm actually really impressed we made it as far as we have. To be fair, this is going to save us a massive amount of time. Right, change camera, unstrap. We take the front one off, mainly because that's going to stop the crane from being too manoeuvrable. Come on. There we go. Just want to put it to the side. There we go. And we'll put this one properly in the bed of the vehicle, make it a bit less top heavy. It's still going to be fairly top heavy, It will be a lot less if we can put it into the bed of the vehicle itself. Tighten up the rope. Doesn't need to come up much, we just need to swing it round. As I speed because I pressed the button too quickly. Right. Trying to see exactly where it is in relation to the bed. Right, bring it round. There we go. We're in. Okay, so we'll be a little bit easier now to get up the hill. Let's have a look at where we're going. So over here we need to start heading up this hill. I don't really know the best way. There is a kind of route here. It's fairly rocky, and by potentially it comes around here. It's got quite dark, so we can't quite see as easily. So I'm hoping that comes to here, and then we can come up here. But even so, that's not going to be the easiest route at all, is it? That's the first one, and there's the second. I can't see a better way up. Potential, no, I don't think we'd make it up there. It's too steep. I think that's our only really sensible route. Potentially, actually. Hang on. There's a lot of rocks to get up here, and it's quite steep as well. I think we follow this. I think that's the best bet. Get to the spring pump station and then head up there. I think that is our best bet. I can't see a better way, I don't think. Maybe, but that's still going to be steep. You've got to remember, this isn't an off-road vehicle as such, so it's not going to be a simple journey no matter what we do, I don't think. I think we head round and see where that takes us. If it gets us to the building, then perfect. If it doesn't, we'll come back on ourselves. The only downside here is going to be these rocks in the way. But we can try and navigate around. We have got the crane, we can pick them up if we need to move them. But ideally, we won't. We may even find we get too far through this route and we're blocked off anyway. We don't really know. Definitely not easy going. Come on, mule. Mule's been good to us so far. Hopefully it continues to do so. Yeah, it's not the easy route. We may find we get to the building and actually there's an easier route, but at the minute we can't see it. Although it's rocky, we're doing okay. No, don't do that. I thought I was in trouble there. Trying hard not to roll this thing. We'll try and come down a different way and see if there is another route to take. Because it may be coming down we see an easier way. Is that a loose piece of wood there? That is a loose piece of wood. So that wood there can actually be used as a log, I'm pretty sure. It's not breaking, so yeah, that's a loose log that we can actually pick up and take somewhere if we wanted to. Not the easiest thing to get to take though. Okay, it's not nice in that at all. Oh, that's probably why. Look at that big rock in the way. Right, stop there for a second. So there is a route, it seems like we can come up here, which would save us going all the way there, to be fair. So we're going to try and go up there if we can. Obviously this rock is in the way, is a problem. That's why we're trying to move it. Hang on. Oh, anchors. Good for the anchors down the start, to be fair. Right, that's not good. Right, that might be out of the way enough. quite a steep. It was a lot steeper than I expected. But we should be able to get around it now, though. Yeah, can we get up there? It might be too steep, you know. We'll give it a go then and see what happens. If we can get up there, perfect. If we can't, we'll continue straight. Although, that looks like a lot of water there. I think this may be the only way up, to be fair. Because that looks like a lot of water over there. Okay, we are up. Not 100% sure which way we're going at. I always forget to put the handbrake on whenever I go to the map as we're rolling backwards there. Yeah, it looks like there's a bit of water. Maybe there's a way around there, to be fair. It's not the easiest thing to do this. Right, stop there for a second. We need to head up here and then across there for the first one. And then we'll see. We'll probably come down into here and see if this is navigatable through this water. Maybe, potentially. So to the right and across. Obviously if we roll this, it's not the end of the world. Our actual garage is actually not too far away, so it's not the end of the world. So we can always get a crane out here if we really needed to, but hopefully we don't. Okay, this is the first one to be delivered. Infrastructure routes complete again. This is why we had to bring a crane though, because we need to unload as well. So we could, I potentially could have just driven in. It's definitely easy if you bring a crane yourself. Sometimes it won't allow you just to drive in it, and it will auto unload. Sometimes you have to actually do it yourself, which is the way it should be done, to be fair. Right, let's just get this a bit more even. And we'll get this delivered, the first one done, and then we're just going to go back and grab the second and see if we can find a better route, or an easier route. Unstrap. I think that went okay though, to be fair. It wasn't the worst journey in the world, that's the thing. Could have gone a lot worse than it did. Make sure we get it near enough there ourselves. Okay, that is that done. First one is in position. Right. We need to head back down to here. Now, there is potential to go back this way. It's very close to water, that's the only thing. I did wonder whether this would be more doable than the route we just took, but actually, don't know. We'll go down there and see if it is. That's a bit steep there. Maybe okay for going down, but going up, maybe not. We'll have a look and see what we think. But we just need to go and get the second one and get that one done as well, and that'll be job done. Let's have a look down here. Yeah, we wouldn't make it up there with a load, I don't think. Too steep. Far too steep. But to get us back to where the other one is, it's not too bad. There is also another mission here to find something here. I don't know how close we need to be for it to be found, to be fair. Or what we're looking for exactly. I think it's just an archaeological site. I don't know what it actually is, to be honest. I guess it's in there somewhere. What is the mission here? Find all archaeological sites. So there's an object you've got to find in this area. It's going to be over here, isn't it? I would have said. We're currently there. Yeah. I don't think it's worth risking what we're doing to go and find it, to be fair. So I think we're going to back up the way we just did. But we made it. It wasn't too bad. It could have gone a lot worse than it did, to be fair. Okay, that's bad. I didn't see how deep that was before we went in the hole. Yeah, that's a lot deeper than you think. Yeah, that went actually quite well. Obviously, the rocks and stuff on the way up were tricky, but we managed it in the end. And the next one is a bit closer, so we're just got to get it loaded up and go back up. And that'll be another mission complete. It'll be our second mission of the day. One main and one side. Which is not a bad start for the first app, and just under an hour, to be fair. Means we're making decent progress. That's the thing. Right, let's go and pick this up and deliver the second antenna. And is it antenna? Antennae? I don't know. Definitely a lot easier to take these up when we've only got one on board and not the two that we got here in the first place. Two on at the same time was tricky, but we got it in the end. And has saved us a massive amount of time. The other thing we could have done, there is a heavy crane at the logistics centre. I'm thinking about it now, what we could have done differently. And we could have taken the bigger vehicle. We've got a bigger one, another cargo truck, bigger one, but without a crane. That probably would have taken both on board at once. We could have loaded them up there and then bring this crane or the mule here and unloaded one at a time onto the mule. I suppose next time that may be the better way of doing it, but we did it in the end, didn't we? That's the thing. Right, let's see if we get this loaded. We're on in the bed as much as possible here. There we go. Strapped cargo, crane, camera, anchors. So we're going to go the same way we just did, as I think that's the best route to take. We made it. Wasn't the easiest to navigate, but we made it. That's the thing. We'll do that again. Which is this left-hand side route. There is a route to our right here, but that actually takes us to there. There's no way up from there. There's potential here, to be honest. Do we go a different way? I think we go a different way. There is a potential route up there. As I say, as I've said many a time, the map can be really deceiving. On the map, it looks really navigatable, and then once you get there in a vehicle, you're like, yeah, it's not going to happen. It's too steep. You don't always see that on the map. That's the thing. Like, this may be a mistake going a different way. We shall see. I think it's good to try out different routes where possible, though. I'm going to stick it in low gear if we really struggle with the slope. It's more the rocks I'm worried about, if anything. And it's suddenly sending us flying like that. I think this route might be the better choice, to be fair. No! It's tipping. I've lost it. No, I've saved it. Wow. That was lucky. No, wrong button. Crane. Trying to get the crane back up before we tipped over again. Managed to save that with the help of the crane there. I think this was the better choice though, to be fair. At the time we didn't know this. There's actually stuff down there further on. We are going to need to explore down there, I think. Oh, actually, we've got something a bit. No predicament. Come on. How did that fail? Hang on. I need a handbrake. That route has been absolutely fine all this time, and now it's failed somewhere. I don't know why it's failed there. We'll dispatch it again. We have still got 200 at a time. We've still got 6 more deliveries to get all the rewards from that one. Yeah, not sure why that failed. All the others have been absolutely fine. Okay, this is where we're delivering to. We're here. We've made it a completely different way, but it did work. So I'm happy about. Now, we need to unload though, and this looks a little bit iffy. It's trying to be on more of a flat surface. Will the crane stretch there? I think it will. Find out in a second. Yeah, it does look like there is something to find down there. There's boats and stuff that have been damaged by the earthquake. So there's a building down there as well. So if we have to get to that at some point, we'll have to come this way anyway. Well, I'm hoping we can reach this. I think we will. maybe we won't actually. Maybe that is too much. Yeah, I can't go any further forward. I'm not okay. What I want to do then, I want to put it down and then turn the vehicle round. It's just the crane doesn't extend that far. So if we swing this round here, don't want to drop on the yellow box. There we go. Might have just broken the antenna, to be fair. And what I want to do is quickly turn around, because obviously the crane's at the front, so it's a little bit easier. You've got a bit more reach if you go frontwards than you do on the back. Should be a bit easier to move it and get it to where we need to. There we go. I'm in the box. Wait, it suddenly went red. Right, that should be doable. Just that slight difference in reach, obviously, because the crane's further to the front. We just need that extra bit of reach. Do try and get it as far in as ourselves first before we say yes to it. And we're nearly there. There we go. That is mission complete. The antennae are now here.
I just got news that the radio tower at the machine yard went down too. I guess it was just a question of time, but it's certainly inconvenient. Could you bring a truck with spare parts from the dry stone shore to the repair crew? While you're at it, collect some additional materials from the tower to the east of the yard. Better do it fast too, before the next shiny new disaster hits.
So more things are going wrong by the sounds of things. Let's have a look at these new missions. So we gained a new one. Transport parts and materials for the radio tower from the machine yard. Now the machine yard is all the way. That's archaeologist camp. It's not machine yard. That's the machine yard. Now we've got to make bridges to actually enable the machine yard to actually be able to go anywhere. We're going to need 2 bridges here, by the looks of things. And then that road takes us to Hot Springs Thermal Plant, which in turn, where does that take us? We might even need, we're going to need a road or something here, aren't we? And a bridge maybe. We'll actually navigate across here. Wow, okay. Yeah, we're going to need to do something to actually make that able to be able to be used, I think. There is a little track here, going up here. That is a track and a half though. Where does that go? Okay, that actually does go underneath there, I think. Yeah, there is a track we can possibly use as well. So that's 2 objects in the machine yard. Oh, it's going up there. Hang on. They're going to there. It's a different one. I was thinking it's coming to us, but it's not. So actually, is that easy? Is that more doable? No, because we need to get across. Oh, okay. That's different than what I was thinking. So we need to get 2 parts from here over to here. The problem being, we need to get across. That's something we need to figure out. And then, was there a new main mission? No, there wasn't a new main mission. Right. Northlock Resources. We have said about this mission previously. We can make metal beams. That's not an issue. We don't have concrete slabs. So we have to hold off on that one, I think, for the minute. Archaeologist needs 2 items delivered to them, back to the logistics terminal over here, and then he's taken to the archaeologist camp. Now, we'll have a look how big they are in a second. How do we get there? We have got the dry stone base up and running. It's kind of on its own with no real connection. We've had to traverse this water before using this wooden pathway here, but it's not ideal. That's the only concern. I do wonder whether we need fuel for the boats and cargo for the equipment. This is the next main mission we have, other than the one that we need supplies. Obviously, we can come from here if need be. I just don't know. I think depending on the size of the objects, actually, the mule or the Voron probably would make that actually fairly simply. It's not a convoy; it's just us taking stuff. So I think that's easily done. Let's have a look what this stuff looks like. Also, we have a crane nearby. Is it a big box, small? No, it's the. Yeah, it's the big box there and the drum container. I don't know what you want to call it, to be fair. I think we use the bigger truck vehicle. I know it doesn't have a crane, but when we unload this, let's track that. The archaeologist camp, we have a base here. So we can bring a crane out of here to unload. That's the thing. Is that ours there? I think that is ours, isn't it? That's a vehicle we need to, what? Oh, that's the, okay, so at some point we need to drive this vehicle. That's a Wayfarer though, isn't it? I think that's a Wayfarer. And that's never going to make that journey, I don't think. Right, we'll get to that when we get to it. I think, annoyingly, this is here, not nearer where we need to be. Although we could actually pull this back, couldn't we? Let's pull the bigger vehicle back to our base over here. Drive it to logistics, load it. Would it fit both on the back? It's got a bigger bed on it. I'm unsure whether it's going to fit them both on the back. The L says C400 cargo truck. We've got to get... I don't think it will fit both. I think we need the bigger vehicle. I think we need a heavy trailer. Because I don't think that will take both lots. There's the box, and then, yeah, I don't think it will. I think for the first time on this map, we need to use our heavy trailer, which I'm not massively hopeful on, to be honest. So our big trailer, heavy transport, I should call it, is, where are you? It's here. The Zilks 605E. I think that's the only thing that's going to make this in one go. But I think we have found previously for a heavy vehicle, it is rubbish when it comes to some terrain. It looks like it should be really good, but it just struggles a little bit with power. I don't think there's another one we can have, is there? Let's have a look in the shop. I think, pardon me, apologies for that. I don't think there is anything else that we can use instead. Oh, hang on. Is that that's small though, isn't it? Yeah, that's the mule without a crane, which is kind of pointless, in all honesty. Same as the Voron without a crane. Again, pointless. Just want to know, is there anything else we can use instead of the heavy equipment transport? Just because it can struggle massively, and we do want to have one of each vehicle where possible as well. But I don't think there is anything else we can use right now. The mobile cranes, the small ones, are rubbish. Obviously, DLC vehicles, we're waiting for DLC for those. Not using them until then. This car, that's a car, the Azos, that smaller game. No, that's the one we have. No, we don't have that one. Is that a bigger bed, though, than the other one? We don't own one of these. Obviously, it doesn't have a crane, but is that bigger than the other one we own? The light equipment transporter, it's not really big enough. That's the mobile base we do want to use at some point. This is the Al says cargo trucks. That holds 8 ton. I think that's the same size. So that holds 8. This one over here, the Azos 4317DL. Okay, carries less weight than the other one. I think it is the same size though. Looking at it, I'm pretty sure it's the same size. Yeah, I think they are. Trying to measure it against the background to see, but I'm pretty sure they're the same size. So I think the only option we have is the heavy transporter. That's the only thing that will fit everything on. So that's what we're gonna have to use. I don't like using it because I know it struggles, but I think we don't. I think it's our best bet. So what we'll do, we're gonna drive it to logistics, load up with the crane that's there, and I'd say we'll get a crane out when we get to the point we're dropping these off. We have got a base operation nearby, so we can just pull a crane out of the garage there fairly easily. We've got to get this to logistics first and foremost. Did that route? I heard the noise from the route. Did it fail? Yeah, it did. So occasionally, the smaller vehicle seems to fail here. I wonder if it's taken us a bit too tight. We've got 5 more trucks needed before that is fully complete. Obviously, we can't. I don't think we're gaining any levels. We're gaining tokens as well. One of the missions we completed must have given us tokens. I didn't realise. We've got 8 now. Thing is, I don't want to waste them and use them for pulling vehicles to places, because we still need them to open up some quarries. So we don't want to waste them if we can avoid it. Just means a bit of time it takes to actually move things around. Right, I don't think this will make this turn, so we're going to need to go and turn around somewhere. Thing is, I'm not very good at driving a vehicle like this with the trailer. I do struggle, but I need to find somewhere we can turn around really. Potentially here, next to these old scrapers. We've got one of those. We just never really use it because there's never been a proper opportunity to use it. To be fair. Okay, as I say, I do struggle with this. Not turning where I wanted to. Right. Trying to get to turn. We need to turn round is what we're trying to do here. That goes that way. So reversing this trailer that I really struggle with. So that turns it to the right. We don't want to do that. We go that way then. It does turn. It's not turning at all, is it? It is now. These are not turning early enough. Well, then maybe. Oh, that's solid there. The worst thing I don't want to do is get stuck in any mud though, that's the only thing. As I say, I do struggle with these. That's the wrong way. We can go forward here. I might be able to go straight back actually, looking at this. No, went the wrong way there. Come on. We are nearly round to be fair, we're a million miles away. That's what I was afraid of, getting stuck in the mud. Ah, can we just go round here? No. Go further forward, see if we can get round this way. All we need to do is turn. What's that stuff on? Oh, that there. What I mean, I really struggle with these long trailers. Got to make sure, remember to turn wide to allow the trailer to come round. I tend to forget that. Currently, with nothing on board, this isn't too bad in the mud. Let's put weight on the back though. Be a different story, I'm sure. We have used this quite a bit. It's just you need the right conditions, ideally, to use it. The route's just made its return, so that means four more loads, and that'll be done, complete. Not have to worry about that anymore. Okay, we'll turn round at least. That's the main thing. We've turned around. Oh no, maybe we haven't. There we have. Looking at the back and not where we're going. Right. Yes, we've turned around. Right, okay. We can now head to logistics. As I say, it's corners that I have an issue with in reversing in this. But I have the same in other games where you drive vehicles this long, like Snow Runner, Farming Simulator. Really struggle driving the bigger trailers there as well. But this, I think, would do this route in one go. Whereas we could have done it in 2 runs, I think, or we could have made it so the L says could have taken it, but it would have been very unstable. Similar to what we did with the mule, to be fair. But at least with the mule, if we tipped, we had a crane to try and fight ourselves. So the L says we don't have that ability. So I think it's a bit more dodgy to try and take an unstable load when you don't have a crane to use to save yourself if needed. So I think heavy transport was their go-to really for this. But once it's loaded up, we'll notice the lack of power very quickly, I think. Hopefully, there's not too many tricky bits to go to. I mean, in terms of the actual terrain, I think it'll be fine. I think it's the weight, potentially, will be the problem. And for a heavy transporter, you kind of think it should have a decent amount of torque, but I don't know, if for some reason this just seems to struggle when loaded. And when I take corners too tight like that. But we're nearly there. Just over this bridge. Are we going to the first bit or second? We need to go, not first turn, second turn, and over the little bridge. But hopefully we can get this next main mission done, and then we're looking at the side mission. We need resources. I need concrete slabs. That's what we're in the short of. Let's say we may have to buy them for the first time. At least then we'd actually have them for the delivery to Northlock. We can get that mission out of the way. Although I've just seen a potential vehicle we have to drive to Northlock, and it's the Wayfarer. I'm not sure how easy it'll make it. Right, I'm going to take the next right hand turn here. Make sure we go wide enough. It's struggling a little bit with the mud, more than I thought it would here. Because this mud isn't too bad. Although we have used it a fair bit, so it is degrading now, this terrain. So we may need to put a road up at some point, just so it makes that a little bit easier. If we had a convoy, we'd put a road up. We probably don't, so we'll hold off for the time being. The other thing I've not done, we're saying about we need concrete slabs for Northlock. While I think about it, only because I can see some here, is there any concrete slabs laying around? The concrete slabs will flash grey, essentially. You'll also get other things flash grey that are recyclable. But I do wonder if there's actually some concrete slabs, because we found trees laying around that we can use. We can use when we need logs. So I wonder if they were real, but they're not. Sometimes you see beams and stuff as well. But there's not lots of stuff to recycle. But I'm not seeing anything that we can just use as is. It's worth a quick look, I think, just in case. As I say, we don't need many slabs for Northlock, but I'm not seeing any we can just use that are laying around by the looks of things. I'll quickly check in Northlock itself. I don't think I've seen any there. Obviously, there's bits on top of that there. There's no grey, is there? That's the thing. There's no grey flashing. Grey is concrete, effectively. But yeah, there's no grey anywhere, I don't think. No. Okay, it was worth a quick look, I thought. Because it would save us having to try and buy some. But I think we might have to buy them instead. I don't think there's a concrete processing plant here. That's the thing. We haven't seen one on the map yet. The map's near enough fully explored, so that tells me there isn't one here. Route complete again. So there's not many more needed now for that route to be done. Okay, so we've got these 2 objects we need to load up. Can use a heavy crane for that. Straighten this up a little bit. What I probably should do is no, because we can reverse back, can't we? Straight and then turn to get out of here, so that's not too bad. We'll move a heavy crane a bit closer as well. Will it reach? We might. What's our reach like? No, we should be okay. We don't need to. Yeah, we've got plenty of reach. We don't need to move the heavy crane. Well, the heavy crane's handy having it here. Right, we're going to load up first, then we'll do the container afterwards. Make sure this is as far back as we can. I just time the swing to make sure we're as even as we can on the back. There we go. Should be okay. Right, the container over here as well. Call it a container, I'm not really sure what you call it there. Tank is a fuel tank essentially, I think. Maybe. Yeah, I think we could call it a fuel tank to be fair. Although it could hold water. A liquid tank of sorts. A little bit to us. There we go. Right, stop vehicle again. We can now head off on this journey that I'm a little bit anxious about. Why is it not... Oh, it won't let us strap because of the crane. Oh, is it because the crane's overhead, maybe? Solid crane, there we go. I think maybe because the crane was overhead, there we go. Right, so we need to come out of here, back along here, come down over the bridge this way, down here, and then we need to keep following the road we put here to nearly past Northlock, past these vehicles, and then we go down this route here, and then we cross over here. This is where potentially we could have issues, because we need to get across here. There is wood we can use to get across for a bit of grip, and then we're heading through the sand quarry to the archaeologist camp, and then we need to drop off over here. We may need to jump into this vehicle to move it, but we'll wait till we're there to do so. That is actually one we need for a different mission. So we actually know the way we're going. It shouldn't be too bad a journey, apart from the concern with the bits over water where the wood is. So it all depends how much this weighs to how this struggles. We'll know pretty quickly if I think we're going to struggle though. And obviously it's the tight corners and me making sure we're wide enough when we turn, because that's another issue we can have. Although I think we did that one pretty well. It's one of those things that I've always struggled with long vehicles. I don't want to do. It's like when you see bus drivers and lorry drivers and the way they take turns, and I look at that and go, I'll never be able to do that. And it's the same in game. I just don't understand fully the actual way it works to get a turn like that. I think is the problem. And now I'm not sure if we're going to make this turn. Route complete again. I think there's one or two of those left, and then that's job done. There, to be fair. Can that get up there? We got there. We're okay. I don't know why the camera zoomed out so far then, but there we go. Alright, try to take this as wide as we can as well. I'm still learning. taken me a while to get used to it, but I am learning how to handle this a bit better. I'm just keeping an eye as well in case we do see any concrete slabs. If it's something we can do, we'll try and pick some up, but I think we're going to end up selling a few things. We don't need to sell stuff, we haven't got money, but that'd probably be worth doing some, just so we have sold something, really, to be fair. Yeah, can feel the difference in weight now, but I don't think we should have too many issues, at least this route. Let's say it's the water bit by the actual where we're going to, that's the, I think, potentially the problem. Well, I say that. We're a bit stuck. We haven't even gone very far. Did not think this would be a problem. Try and get on the middle bit. There we go. Yeah, that wasn't a bit that I envisioned. I think it's because of how deep that hole is, where the wheels are. The track where the wheels are is extremely deep. I think that's the problem. Wow. Might have to get the scout vehicle to pull us a little bit here. Can't get us to go anywhere. I did say this route has degraded over time. The more we've used it, it's started to degrade, and you can really see it. I think I'm going anywhere, am I? That's annoying. Okay, we have got the Carolean over here, so we'll jump in that and go and rescue ourselves. Did not think that would be a problem, to be honest. But yeah, the road is degraded where we've used it over time. Turn that way. So at some point we may need to build a road there for us to be able to transport anything through there, really. This is the thing with this. The more you use the same route, the more it will degrade. The more that putting a road down yourself makes more sense. What I mean is we'd have to bring all the vehicles down this way, and that we'd have to, well, we could load them up on every transporter to be fair, to save a bit of time. Driving them here I think will take a little while. We'll see. It depends how much we still need to use that route, to be fair. None of our transporters have tracks. So although Kelly told us at the start of this map that tracks are your best bet for this area, none of our transports have them. But the problem with that is we haven't got all our transporting stuff with tracks. And if that's the best thing to use in these conditions, which we're finding it is as well, we don't have the ability to use tracks. What do we do? That's the question. Right, we'll stick towing on as well, so it also runs its own under its own steam. We should hopefully be able to pull this out, or not. Okay, what about reversing it? Don't tell me we need a crane here to be able to move this. Carolean can't do it. It hasn't got the I put full winch. Yeah, it just can't, even with towing on. Hasn't got the power to put it out. This is what makes me think we are going to make this into a road at some point. It does get better, the actual road itself gets better in a minute, it's just this bit. I wonder if we detach winch and try and be on a better surface. Because even this is struggling with some of the mud. If we try here, it's more of an even surface, I think. Towing on. Can't do anything, can it? Try and pull winch at the same time. Right, the only other thing we can do is, if we detach for a second, we put ourselves so the pole will stop us moving. It's there. We can pull winch and use the pole to kind of anchor us in place. Just need to get the right angle to actually attach first. All we need is a little bit of movement, I think, and then we'll be moving again. There we go. Right, so now if we position ourselves slightly behind this pole and then pull the winch forward. There we go. Now pull winch. Yeah, it's not doing that. Although we're not hearing the winch noise, strangely. Hang on, I moved. We've got a bit of movement there. It did move a little bit, didn't it? Pretty swap back. I think we may need to get a different vehicle to help pull us out. It's just these holes are the problem. Can't even reverse. Honestly, didn't think this would be a problem, to be fair. I thought this would be the easy part. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. Yeah, I honestly thought this would be the easy part, to be fair. Okay. We could bring the heavy crane over and just lift us up a little bit. I think that might do it. Yeah, we'll see if we can just lift this up a little bit. Or at least attach it to the crane and drive forward. I think that'd be definitely a bit easier. Otherwise we've got to bring a vehicle from quite a way away to actually do anything. So we'll try this crane first and see if that helps. Just that first bit. After that, it's just the water bit that's the concern. But yeah, this just shows how degraded the road has become. So we may need to start thinking about putting a road there, or at least some sand down potentially. Depending on how much we use this route, that's the thing. We did say the heavy transporter is underpowered, especially when it's got a load on as well, so it's not completely unexpected, but thought we'd make it further than that before we had the issue. But yeah, we should hopefully be able to just attach the crane and move, pull it a little bit. Might just try hitting it from behind first. We've got a bit of oomph behind us, maybe enough to just lodge it. Okay, I did move it forward. Let's have a quick look. Did that help in the slightest? Yes, it did. Look at that. All it took was a crane hitting it and it moved us, but then we're stuck again. The crane helped a little bit, but not enough. It might do. Don't want to get the crane stuck, that's the only downside. Let's see if we can hit it a bit forward. I don't advise smashing vehicles into each other normally. Don't fancy anything with it. No. Okay. We'll go with the original plan. We've got to get the crane round the side of it, and then we'll stick the crane on it and pull it a little bit and see if we move it forward. Ideally, we don't want the crane getting stuck. Okay. That's route complete again. So all we're going to do is just move this slightly forward, is my thinking. To bring it tight and then move it forward. Why can't I turn to the right? I think it's the weight of the vehicle actually, to be fair, stopping us turning this. We have obviously got stuff on the back of it as well. Right, do swap vehicle again. We did move it. Obviously not enough. But the only downside to this is obviously it will put the handbrake on. It's quite heavy, it's not allowing us to actually do what I thought we were going to do here. Come on. There we go. Got a bit of movement there. The only thing we're trying to do is just move it a little bit to enable it to get off that bit stuck on. Like that. There we go. Where the crane has come good in the end. Low gear, see if we can just get through this bit. We're on the solid ground again in a minute. It's just through this little bit here, really. There we go. Come on. And this is meant to be a heavy transporter. That's the thing. So you would think this would be able to pull the weight fairly easily, but it does struggle massively. But we're out of the problem though. The crane did come good in the end. Now we can crack on to where we're going. That wasn't the bit I was concerned about. That's the annoying part. There is later on, it's going to get worse. But I think we have got wood to kind of drive over, so that will help with grip. It's not mud as such. That should help a little bit. But yeah, that wasn't the bit I was concerned with. So it may mean we need to make more of a road here going forward if we have to use that route more. There's still so much to do on the map that I've got a feeling we're going to use that route a lot more yet, but it is getting worse and worse there. But the only reason I'm kind of a bit not nervous but unsure about doing it is only because it's a long distance to take the stuff to actually make the road. That's the thing. Two of the vehicles are fine driving them, but the other two we'd have to load up onto this vehicle to get a bit closer to it. That's the thing. Right, my only concern now, if we meet the oncoming convoy vehicle, we're in trouble. It will just slam into us. So we need to get to our turn off before we can meet that vehicle. And our turn off is here. Just to try and double check what the turn off was. Okay. Again, bit of mud. As obviously we've just seen, this doesn't cope with it very well. But it was either this or two journeys with the mule or the Voron or something like that. Okay. I'm looking out for that wood track, which is further down this way. Trying to stay on the high points, I think, where possible here with the wheels. Not get sucked into that hole like that. That's what I was trying to avoid there. There we go, we're okay. Handled that pretty well, just didn't handle the other bit. Yeah, this is the struggle. This needs more power, I think. That would be the thing that benefits this, is more power. Right, we're going to use the wood to get across this first bit, then we'll use the wood again over there as well. That should provide us the grip needed. There is a water path, but I don't think this will make it. We have moved all the rocks off the wooden path further ahead of us. Why is that struggling? Okay, so I went a bit too, I didn't go wide enough to get this on, I don't think. Back wheels are struggling to get on there. Lost Soul, good morning, how are you? There we go, Ron. Just need them back wheels to get over that first little bit. But yeah, we did clear all the rocks off the second wooden path we're about to go to. So that should make that a little bit doable. If worst comes to worst, we can go and get our mobile base, and that can actually got a winch, and it's actually really strong and can probably pull this if we do get stuck. And we've got a base near where we're going, so it's not too far to take it, to be fair. As we have a few more issues. Low gear though, kind of got us over that. This is the I don't know what is this one called? Cannot think the name. It's the Zilks 605E, the heavy equipment transporter. It just lacks power. I think that's the biggest issue. So it's meant to transport heavy loads all the way through when we've used it. It's just struggled, and we didn't use it for quite a while. We've used it previously for transporting vehicles, especially the road stuff, for like the asphalt layer and the roller, because they drive really slowly. This is ideal to put them on the back and take them to where you need them to be. Especially now they added in an update that you can strap them down, whereas before you couldn't strap vehicles down on the bed, whereas now you can. So that makes it more doable. But we were trying to save time by not having to do this route twice, but taking both of the cargo on the back in one go is just meant to save us a bit of time. But obviously it does show the weaknesses of this vehicle as a heavy transporter, and it's the only heavy transporter in the game, so we don't have a choice of another one. But I just feel it just lacks power. That's the thing. Struggling on even on the wood. But the wood would help it. I say it's struggling. I forgot I had low gear on. So it was a little bit slow because of low gear. I may need to put it on again in a second. Come on. No, we're stuck. Gonna reverse. No reverse either. Okay. We did think this could happen. This was the bit I was worried about in terms of us getting to. But we are closer to where we need to deliver these. But yeah, this was the concerning point. We're not far away from where we're going. We have got a base here though, the dry stone base. So if we jump in here and we grab our mobile base, the winch on that will be able to tow that from where it is, move it forward, and it is really strong. We don't want to use the mobile base side of it because we have to use tokens. And this map we need the tokens for the quarries, and there's not many tokens you can get in total. So the Kernel Stranic is pretty good. In fact, there's a better one of these in the shop that we don't own. Let's buy that one. Trying to make sure we have one of each vehicle. Let's buy the other mobile base. I don't know for definite it's got a winch on. That's the only thing. Where are you? Obviously we're not using anything that's DLC just yet. We're waiting for the DLC itself. There we go. Mobile operations base. Does this have a winch? It can also carry resources. That's the big thing that's really good about this. I don't know if this has a winch, you know. It's tracks though. If it doesn't have a winch, we can't use it. We're going to buy it anyway. We've wanted to buy one of these for a little while. We've got the money. We'll have to get it out and see if it's got a winch, because there's no thing to actually tell us. Okay, so it's at the top. We'll know pretty quickly where it's usable because we've had to access the winch immediately. If there isn't one, it won't do anything. Where are you? There it is. The Warden Kochenik ATV. I'm so hoping this has a winch. Recall vehicle at the resource zone. It doesn't have a winch. No, of all the vehicles, it doesn't have a winch. That's annoying. Okay, so we know this doesn't have a winch, but it is a mobile base, and it is on tracks. Obviously, it uses tokens, and we don't. The problem with tokens is obviously we don't have many on this map. that's an issue. But it was worth. We wanted to buy it at some point. We want to own every vehicle. Put it back inside the garage, and we'll grab the other one, as that will be able to, that has got a winch. But at least we know. We just need a map that allows us to actually have more tokens for missions and make our life a bit easier. There's no military vehicles in this. There's some that look similar to military vehicles. Our grader is quite military vehicle looking, I would say. But there isn't actually proper military vehicles in this, as far as I'm aware. Where's the exit? Oh, the gate's there. They open inwards. They open inwards, don't they? Yeah, they open inwards, I think. Oh no, actually, they open out. No handles this side. There we go. Right, we need to go around the quarry. This thing is also on track, so that's also why this is quite good on rough terrain. So this is also a mobile base. We can pull vehicles to this from anywhere on the map, and they can come from the map or the garage. You will spend a token to do so, which is why we don't use it very often. But it is quite powerful when it comes to towing. So yeah, there are some vehicles that look similar to military vehicles, but I wouldn't say they're military, to be fair. How does this do on the wood is the question. I think we may get stuck again here if we're not careful anyway. We shall see. Okay, it's quite deep. We'll be careful of that. As this is quite low to the ground, obviously the water there is warning us. It's not the quickest, but it's the most powerful in towing. I did think the Carolean was pretty powerful, but we saw how poorly that did a minute ago. So I'm hoping this is better. I don't want to have to drive a crane all the way here to pull this vehicle out. But this is struggling with the mud a little bit, more than I thought it would, considering. Why is it struggling so much? Is low gear going to help a bit more? I'm hoping not to get stuck though. Hopefully, so we won't. As I've already got the other vehicle stuck. This doesn't normally struggle with mud, to be fair, but it does seem to be a little bit. Trying to get on some more harder ground on this left-hand side. There we go. Bit better now. Right, there's a vehicle that's stuck. As I say, we kind of expected this to happen at some point. So now we need to pull it out. Right. The only thing I would say, I'm not 100% on reversing this thing. One better than I expected, to be fair. Reversing this thing is not simple. We'll also tow it and put towing on, and that will mean the actual other vehicle will run under its own steam as well. So that actually helps us. The towing goes on, the winch is attached. Can we move forward? There we go. I said this would manage it. But this is the most powerful vehicle to tow with, to be fair. Look at that. Let's just pull the winch a little bit closer to us. Put that on. Don't like the distance when towing, I'd rather be a bit closer. Now, I don't know if this would make it under its own steam now, so we're going to continue towing, I think, until we're at least to the quarry. As I say, its own engine is running as well. So you've got two vehicles running at the same time, but it's connected. Yeah, I think it would get stuck again here. Whoa! I think it got a bit ahead of itself. I think it would get stuck here if we weren't here with it. In all honesty. Can't overtake us. I don't need to tow all the way to the base. Once we get to the quarry, I think it'll be fine. So, to be fair. But if we knew the vehicle would struggle in the mud, it was just better to So either do the route twice with both bits of cargo, or do it once with the potential it needs towing along the way. That was the thing. Now, I'm not sure how well it will do with this wood here, to be fair, but we'll keep towing. This does struggle a little bit with this, to be fair. I think at some point we probably need to put a bridge here, because although the wood's in the water, it's still a bit tricky to get across. Right, we're going to just get across and off the wood, and then we'll detach and drive under its own steam. Should be absolutely fine from here, to be fair. But yeah, it's not the first time I've had to do this with vehicles, to be fair. Right, let's detach the winch. There we go. Right, will it drive under its own steam now? It will indeed. There we go. Okay, so from here we want to go. We're going to the not to our base. We're going to the archaeologist camp up there. So we ideally want to go around this way. I think make it a bit easier for ourselves. But yeah. Sometimes you've got to find different ways to solve a situation, and we knew that what we needed. Luckily, we knew we had the camp nearby to use as well, so obviously that helped massively. We are going to need to pull a crane out of our base nearby as well to unload this in a second. That's the other thing. I don't think it is. I'm not sure, to be fair. Let me just double check. I can't. We don't play many multiplayer games anyway, to be honest. But I don't know if it is. Very good question. It might be. Yes, it is multiplayer. Offers online co-op for up to 4 players, so you can tackle the base game maps and DLC with up to 4 players online. But yeah, I don't generally play online games, so for me that's not a big deal. That's why I didn't know, to be fair. But yes, you can play with other people. It's similar to SnowRunner as well. SnowRunner you can do with online people as well, and you complete the missions together. Obviously, there are benefits to playing with someone else. It'll be a lot quicker to do, because obviously you can get things done quicker, because one could be doing one thing while someone else is doing another. Well, there are benefits, but it's just something I do, to be fair. I do play some multiplayer games on my own, or with my little boy. Then we play Minecraft together. Started doing a bit of a VA FC now it's out, because I bought it for him, so he's enjoying that. And we play a couple of games against each other. And DayZ, something I play on my own time as well. So there are a few things we do multiplayer, but yeah, generally on the channel we don't do multiplayer games in general. We've got the Voron here. I wonder if the Voron can unload these, to be fair, as the Voron's near to us. That's a mission vehicle, and I'm worried about taking that mission, mainly because we know how bad the Wayfarer as a vehicle is. So I am a little bit concerned about when we have to drive that somewhere. Through the gap here. Right, so we're going to set the Voron up over here, and we're just going to unload both of these into this area ahead of us here. Crane camera. Don't know if we're quite close enough to this, to be fair. And they've both been delivered. Oh no, hang on. I didn't just saw this is actually being delivered to behind us. Just see the red bit behind us there. But what we do, we've got to put it in our bed on the Voron, because we actually need to take the old one out. Because it's red, it means the old one's there still. I didn't notice it before I picked this up, otherwise I would have taken it out before we picked this up. But if we stick this in our bed, and then we can pull the old one out and then pick this back up. I didn't actually notice the old one was there, annoyingly. Come on. Doesn't need to be perfect, but I do want it to be a little bit level, especially if we're picking the other one up. There we go. We'll strap it just to make sure we don't have problems. Crane can stay up for the minute. So all we need to do is get alongside this, and then we'll attach the crane and put it out. There we go. There we go, that's the old one. In terms of where we put it, I'm actually not sure. I kind of want to stick it on the containers next to us, I think. It can be recycled, it is metal. So if we did want to recycle and take it all the way to the metal beam place, we could recycle it there, to be fair. But it's a long way to take it to recycle it, to be honest. Right, let's get this one in place. But yeah, I hadn't actually realised it was multi-class. Just because it's not something we do, I don't really look, to be honest. Come on. Didn't have it high enough there to get across. Right. Try and make sure it's near enough in its place ourselves before we let it down. I know we can complete it with the green, but I like to actually make sure we do it ourselves. Okay, anchors, camera. So the other one needs delivering. It is being delivered there, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so the other container just needs delivering there. What I'm going to try and do, I think, I may. Vehicle just failed the route. Although it doesn't matter. So the vehicle that's failed actually doesn't matter because we've got all the rewards now. It's missing off the infrastructure. So actually the failure doesn't matter. I was just thinking I may have to drive forward with this. I don't think we'll reach fully where it's got to go. Well, maybe. Just got to get into that area. It might reach actually. Or will we? No, we're just short, I think. Okay, bad decision. Nearly messed us up there. Let's move forward. Thought I could just drive forward a little bit and it would be fine. Anchors come off and the whole thing just wanted to go. Right, just needs to be in this area. There we go, mission complete. Oh, it's not finished. So although we did that bit of the mission's now changed. We now need to supply the archaeologist camp with the requested resources. What is this then? Oh, it's a convoy route. Really don't want to do this. We're going to have to put a road down. We're never going to get a convoy here. We know how bad the convoys are with some of the muddy terrain. There is no way this will make it. Bring some fuel for the boat's cargo. We've just done that. I should have read it properly. I didn't read the bottom bit. You're planning to build PCs? Asking. I have no idea, Lost Soul. To be fair, I don't do much PC gaming. I have a gaming laptop and that's it. And my boy's got a gaming laptop. We don't actually have PCs. I used to build PCs many moons ago, but I haven't done it so many years now. I've got no clue what things are going on now. To be fair. So yeah, I don't have an answer for you, Lost Soul, I'm afraid. You need to ask someone that's more into that kind of thing. So we've got a plot of route here from the warehouse over here, which we haven't really utilised yet, and over to the archaeologist camp. Now, there is a potential it will make it because of these bits here, the wooden bridges. It has the potential to make it. My concern is it won't. Endpoints here. We need to move all this stuff out of the way anyway. What I think we do, we set the route up and then see if that works. If it doesn't work, then we know we've got to do roads and stuff, which I think we're going to have to anyway. But at least we have a look and see if we can make it work. Because it may do it first time absolutely fine. It can surprise us. So what I think we do, I need to move these vehicles out of the way. Let's fold this crane and get this vehicle moved a little bit. It's not this one that's the problem. It's the Wayfarer. That's the problem, to be fair. And our big vehicle here, the transporter. Where do I want to put this is the question. I could put it back to base, to be fair. Let's just move over here for a minute. We need to have a look at what mission we need to do for the Wayfarer that's there, because that's a mission vehicle. It's not something. It's not a vehicle we own. So this mission here, we need to find out which one it is, I think, because we're going to need to move it. It's this one, I think, is it not? No, it's not. That's a smaller vehicle there. Which one is this one then? Build a flood wall. It's not that one. Concrete. Ah, there we go. This one. Yeah. So that needs delivering. Again, I think this will get stuck, as it is a Wayfarer and it is normally bad in a lot of these conditions. It will actually restore the harbour base. Oh, this would actually be quite good one to get done. And there's one. We need to deliver items from. Oh wow, over there. We've not been there yet, really. Is that a normal? That's a proper road, though. Although, where does that lead to is the question. So we haven't fully done this bit of the map over here yet. We've got to get there to get 2 parts. Okay, are we delivering them? Yeah, we're taking them from there to there, and that was still okay. And the vehicle we've got here needs to go to the harbour base. Can we make it there? No, because we need bridges. We need to build bridges here to make it there, I think. Where are we in relation? I can't. Oh, we're all the way down here. Oh, wow, okay. Well, we're going to need to move this vehicle out of the way. There is a roadway here to that quarry there. Okay, so there is a road that brings us to this quarry, and then you can use that to go further round. That's doable. But that road isn't operational, I don't think. Let's follow it round. Oh, actually, maybe it is. These dips we have done, and I think they are navigatable without putting a road down. I've streamed Dying Light 1 and 2 already on the channel. We've done that a while back. We are going to do the Beast at some point, because we vote on whatever we play. We've got to wait to do a vote first to see what wins. So we're not doing a vote until we finish this. And there's a couple other games we need to go and do DLC for. What I'm going to do is drive this vehicle as far as we can get it. If we can get it there, perfect. If we can't, we'll come back and solve it. But we need this out of the way anyway. As I say, the Wayfarer is the worst vehicle in the game. I can't stand this vehicle. But we need to attempt this journey anyway and see how far we get. It's already struggling already. Yeah, look, it's already struggling. Can't even move forwards. Come on. There we go. Find the grip. Find the grip. Right. Turning circle. This isn't brilliant either. I'd be very surprised if we make this without getting stuck. I really would. To be fair, we're already getting stuck. Okay. Off and running, but yeah, I'm expecting us to get stuck at some point. Do you stream yourself then, do you, Lost Soul? As I say, we've done the first game and the second game on the channel. They were really good. I enjoyed them. Not something I'd normally play. It's only because they won the vote and people suggested we played them. It's not something I would have played otherwise, to be fair. But you find that a lot of games we do on the channel are not ones I would have picked myself. But we are going to use low gear to get through the mud here. It's really struggling. I don't want to have to tow it already, that'd be ridiculous. But I did say there's a reason I dislike this vehicle so much. And it is because of this. It just is horrendous to use. Reverse. We can't do anything. Right, we're going to have to go and get our mobile base to tow this a little bit forward. Can't even get this out of there to actually move it. How bad is that? Our mobile base is here though. We need to head up over there, don't we? Left and then right. But yeah, do you stream yourself? Okay, we'll tow it forward. I don't want to tow it all the way there, so I'm hoping we get it out from where it is and then it'll be fine under its own steam for a little while at least. Towing all the way there is a bit ridiculous when we should be able to drive these things, but we knew the minute we saw the vehicle it was going to be problematic, to be fair. If it was a different vehicle it wouldn't be so bad. Admittedly, we may have to build roads again here at some point, just to make this more doable. Especially if there's a convoy involved, which we're going to move this out of the way. We'll set the convoy up and see what it does. If it makes it, then we don't need to worry about a road. Although after a while the route will degrade, we may need a road. But for the minute, we'll test it out and see what it does. Right, towing is on. Let's move this forward. I do love this mobile base just because it's towing power more than anything else. It's just incredible when it comes to towing vehicles. Right, we'll detach in a second. Just get this there. Right, so I'm gonna park this up and we'll jump back into the Wayfarer. Not Wayfarer we do own, but this isn't the one we own. This is a mission vehicle. Okay, how will it go on its own steam again? Don't get stuck already, that'd be ridiculous. Barely made anywhere. Low gear is off, so we'll see what kind of speed it can get up to. Although the load on the back is quite heavy, so it won't have much speed, I don't think. Don't get stuck on the sand, that'd be silly. The vehicle is so bad. Well, we never use a Wayfarer. And I hate convoys that have them because it makes life so much harder. And the convoy is also a Wayfarer. What? We're not even on mud, we're on sand. It can't even move forward. Come on. Got nothing every week. Handbrake's definitely off as well. No. Right. Back to the mobile base. We made it literally from there to there before it got itself stuck. I hate this vehicle with a passion. Why did it give us a Wayfarer? The problem is the Wayfarer is the only tractor unit in the game. There isn't another choice to use. So when you've got these really big deliveries, you either use the heavy transporter, which itself is not brilliant, or the Wayfarer, which, unless you put it on tarmac, it is horrendous. On the normal tarmac road, it isn't an issue. The problem comes when you're trying to go off the tracks and things. Why are we not connecting winch? There we go. Towing on. From its own power as well. Right, again, we'll get a little bit more forward, then we'll make it go on its own steam again. I'm not going to drive it all the way to the location like this, although we may not have a choice, to be fair. Okay, let's disconnect. I wanted to get this moving a little bit so we can set this route up, to be honest. As it stands, we're not making much progress. The only reason we're doing this now is because we need to get a route going to see if it works, and this is in the way. And The rain is coming as well, which isn't helpful. Right, we'll get us around this corner. We'll set the route up so at least it's on its way. And like I said, if it goes wrong, we know we're going to need to do a road. Makes it, we may get away with it. But you can see we're having issues with normal vehicles. There's a good chance this won't make the route. So the one we're looking at is to plan a route for the concrete supply. No, it's not. It's this one. Supply the archaeologist camp with the requested resources. So this is from this warehouse here all the way to where we just are now. So, and it's using a Wayfarer. See the size of the vehicle. It's a Wayfarer this would be using. Annoyingly. So again, this may not work. We may need to build roads just to make it so it can actually get there. Because you can't tow convoy vehicles. You actually have to leave them to do it themselves. We can push them, but even that's not brilliant, to be fair. Right, let's make sure it gets on the wood nice and square. But yeah, I guarantee this will fail. I'll be very surprised if it makes it. Then you're going to have to build a road. And then possibly a bridge as well, to be fair. It's going to get stuck there. We'll give it a chance to prove itself, but I've got a feeling we're going to have to build a road. Yeah, here where this bridge has gone down, potentially we need, or where the wood is, you can drive over that, but it's not brilliant. I wonder if maybe a bridge would be better there, to be fair. Okay. Through the quarry. Guarantee. I really think this will fail. We're going to have to spend a bit of time doing over road. This map is definitely the map we've built the most roads on already. It's only going to get more, I think. Some of the routes are so bad, I don't think we've got much choice. But it's off and running. Let's see what it does, shall we? We're going to continue to try and get this where it needs to go. Again, I'm not holding out much hope. We'll see how far we can get. We have done this route in a scout vehicle previously, so it may have been in the mule actually, with the Voron as well. Hi Prexperian, good morning, how are you? Yeah, I don't expect it to make it, but I want to give it a chance. Even this thing's struggling. I hate this vehicle. Thing is, it's a convoy, so we can't change the vehicle or anything. Same as this. This is a vehicle given to us for the mission, so we can't change this vehicle either, despite my hatred of it. Would love for it to prove me wrong though. Come on. Slow going, but it is still moving. There we go, it's failed already. I did say it would fail. I wanted to give it a chance. How have you failed there? Of all places. I didn't think even that was that muddy there, to be fair. Let's start it back here. I just want to see where it went wrong. It's a Wayfarer, but with the fuel truck on the back. I just want to see where it went wrong and why. It's probably the mud. Yeah, look at that. Straight into the mud. It's stuck. Right. I think what we do, we'll carry on doing the vehicle we're doing. We'll get this to where it needs to go as far as we can. And then we'll have to build a road to connect everything. Make life easier. This may make it on its own, this one, to be fair. But yeah, the convoys, you need to have roads generally. They don't do well dodgy terrain. There we go, it's failed in the mud. It's going to be a long road though, that's the only thing. We may as well cover over all that wooden section as well and make that into a proper road, so we don't have to go over the wood anymore as well, I think. Make the most sense to do that. Didn't think this water bit was that deep, but actually it is a little bit deep. And now I can't go forward. I think I went slightly off track, to be fair, hence the issue. Can't reverse. Can't go forward. No, okay. We will pull ourselves out of this. I may have to pull it backwards more than forwards. I think we went kind of off where the track is there. we need to swing this round. In fact, let's just reverse this way. I think I'll pull it out of the water backwards first, and then see if we can get it through the water. But yeah, we'll try and get that vehicle delivered, because at least that's job done. And then yeah, we'll build this big road. No, we don't play multiplayer, I'm afraid, Hyper-Experience. We only ever do everything single player. I do enjoy building the roads as well, to be fair. Definitely now we've got the better equipment as well. It doesn't take long to make them when you've got the better equipment. But yeah, we don't do anything multiplayer, I'm afraid, on the channel. Have you played this yourself then, Hyper? Right, what we'll do, we're just going to quickly pull this out. Why are you not giving me a winch point? There we go. And we'll try it once more on its own steam before we actually have to tow it through. Because it may make it on its own steam if it's a bit straighter. Because this bit isn't that deep, but I think I went off to the side, hence why it had a little bit stuck. We keep more left, because I know we've been this way previously with other vehicles. They are better in these conditions, to be fair. Again, this is something we may need to do as a road as well, especially if we do a convoy at some point. Yeah, it's not making it, is it? Right, we gave it a chance. Let's jump into the mobile base and tow it through. I didn't think we'd be towing this. Well, I did think we'd be towing this as much as we have been, to be fair. In fact, let's not tow it. There we go. It's through. Sometimes you don't need to tow things. Sometimes you just need to give a little bit of a shove. Put low gear on, skid up the hill a little bit. There we go, we should be okay for a minute. You can see why I dislike this vehicle so much, can't you? It's got no power. Thank you for the like, but also much appreciated. It struggles, every terrain it struggles on bar road. It's just lacking power so much. Obviously the weight of the load doesn't help even when you've got a vehicle that's not exactly powerful anyway. Any kind of weight on the back is going to make that worse. As you can see, we are struggling. This road isn't even that bad in terms of mud. For some reason, this thing doesn't like it. You're going to tell me you're stuck again there, aren't you? We're right in the middle of the road. There should be no issue with a normal vehicle here. But it doesn't like it. Okay, back into the mobile base. Once again. What we need is a different tractor unit for taking large loads like that. Something just a little bit more powerful. It didn't even much, just a little. Because that is what lets it down. Come on, I'll give you a shove. We could tow it the whole way, but I really don't want to do that. We may not have a choice. Right, okay. We're going to save ourselves. This will take forever, otherwise. We're going to tow it all the way to where it needs to go. I don't think we've got much choice in the matter. It's just going to constantly keep getting stuck. So if we tow it, at least that way we can guarantee it will get there. And it will speed things up a little bit. Not what I wanted to be doing though, admittedly. Towing on. There we go. Definitely the little engine that could this thing. For a mobile base it is pretty powerful. I think the tracks obviously help as well, to be fair. But yeah, I wish we didn't have to do this with this. Don't have much choice. So where are we heading? So we head straight here. We're going to keep following this route along here. until we get to just before the sand quarry. No, we have to go through the sand quarry, I think. Hang on. Yeah, through the sand quarry to over here. Yeah. Around there, and then across here to then go up here and into the harbour base. And this is being delivered here. Is that the one? That's not the same one, is it, actually? Where are we delivering this? That's there. Oh, it is there. It didn't know if it was. I know it was showing yellow. I weren't too sure if it was exactly that one. So yeah, this is quite a long way to go. This is why I didn't want to tow it all the way. But it's going to keep stopping. This makes the most sense. It's going to save us the effort of having to keep going back, grabbing this to then pull it forward a bit, jumping back into the vehicle, driving it a little bit more, then jumping back into it. This just helps us do it all in one. But yeah, this is why we don't use our own weight bearer. Why are we stuck? Oh, I think it's caught on the rocks. Yeah, there's a rock right there in front of its front wheels. There we go. Not our vehicle. Come on. Right, we need to take that a bit wider, I think. To allow for that rock to not be in the way. Go. There we go. Come on. Can't put it round that rock, can I? Need to kind of get it to go a little bit to the right if we can. There we go. And what we'll do, we'll take this a little bit wider. So it avoids it. That's better. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Alright, we've still got a long way to go. This is still a decent distance. 800 metres or so, it's saying. This is why I don't like a big gap between the towing vehicle and the vehicle that's being towed. I like to be able to see what I'm likely to catch on as we approach. Yeah, this thing is a lifesaver. We've used it previously when we got stuck. Nothing else would pull us out, and this thing just comes out of nowhere. It's so powerful. Turn the winch a bit more. There we go, a bit closer to us now. You wouldn't think this would be able to tow that at a full load on board, would you? That's the thing. Obviously the tracks help as well, I think. Okay, we are getting there, it's a long route to take. And then we've got to build a new road, by the looks of things. To be fair, this will become a base once we've done a few more missions at the harbour. But I think we may even need to build a proper road and bridge and stuff just to make it a bit easier to get to be fair. I think it's this mission here that actually gives us the harbour base and opens up. But the objects we need to go and get, I have no clue how we get them from there down to here in a minute. We'll have to figure that out in due course. But we'll build the road first, because at least then the convoy can be doing its thing while we're doing something else. It's always nice to make sure they're running while we're busy doing something different. Right, I think we're heading to the right here. Let's just double check. So yeah, we want to come out here and over into this track because we're coming back through this pipeline essentially. At some point we need to put 2 bridges here so we can actually get that road used. That road that road leads us to the thermal spring, the hot springs. Dash sound. You're on about the vehicle being the dog and we're walking it, aren't you? Oh, this is a good point. As I say, this isn't my first choice of how to do this, but sometimes you have to do things like this to actually make it work. I'd rather just drive the vehicle under its own steam, in all fairness. But we'd never complete the mission if we did that. But yeah, this does mean we may need to build roads here at some point, depending if we've got convoys and things to actually organise. Most of our vehicles can get through this terrain, one way or another. I say most, because obviously our own wayfarer would make it. Crazy Irishman, good morning, how are you? A bit of speed up now, look at that. Once we get to the tarmac road, we'll disconnect and then we'll drive the wayfarer ourselves. Because it will be able to be fine on the tarmac. All the off-road stuff it won't do. It reminds me, for anyone that's played SnowRunner, the wayfarer reminds me of the GMC before you put mud tires on it. Where it only works on roads. Anything else, it is bad for. And that's the same experience we had with the GMC and SnowRunner, to be fair. Once you put mud tires on it, it's absolutely fine. We don't have that option in this though. Okay, so just over, we'll go underneath, I think we're going underneath the pipeline we can see over there, and then we'll disconnect. And let us finish the actual bit on its own steam for once. But yeah, it's one way of doing the mission. It's not the ideal way, but to be fair, we wouldn't have got this done otherwise. I'd much rather drive the vehicle on its own steam. Okay, make sure this is fully off. Okay, that is on. Let's just stop for a second. Disconnect the winch. Let's swap vehicle. I should be able to get past, I think. Right, this will drive now on its own steam, hopefully. All being well. But seriously. No, it will. We're okay. I thought for a minute it was stuck at the back, but we're okay. So this will drive in on its own. We've got it here at least. It's not been the easiest journey, but we've done it. That's the important part. Where does that road lead? Come on, just a quick check on that. Because obviously we need to get across here, don't we? We need to fix this bridge by looks of things. You see there's a bit missing, and there's a load of stuff on the bridge as well, to be fair. I don't know if all that can be moved. But yeah, we'd have to get across. I think we need to clear the bridge. Because we've got to get over here and collect 2 items from over there to bring them back down, and that gives us the harbour base here up and running. We also need to do this as well, but I think if we do get the harbour base up running first, we can then just get a big crane out and do everything in one shot. But it's getting across there that's the issue, and by the looks of it, that bridge is probably the only thing we can really do, or make our own bridge somewhere. But it'll be since we can't use concrete, we've only got a limited amount of logs as well unless we buy some more. Yeah, you're only about 12 hours. That's not good, crazy. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't have a brilliant one either, to be fair. Maybe it was just one of those nights. How long are you off now till you go back to work, or are you off until everything's finalised? Right, we need to go to the right here because we're going into here. We're going up this hill here. Based on the news, we found the favourite. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. So he had a plan himself then, at least. So that does make things a little bit easier for everyone, doesn't it? Right, my only concern, obviously we've got to drop off the other things. If this disappears straight away, it does, there we go. I was worried it would be parked in the middle. So we can't fully complete that mission yet, we have to get across here. Which means we get another vehicle over here, but we're not going to do it just yet. So we did set the other vehicle off and running for this one as part of the archaeologist camp mission that we've done a bit already. We've already delivered the vehicles and stuff it wanted. Now the problem now is we need to get a convoy here, and the convoy can't make it. There's no way it will make that route. I did want to finish the mission we was on, but I think this is more important as we did start this first. So what I'm thinking is we need a road. It's the only way this convoy is going to make it. The convoy actually starts here at the warehouse. It's immediately stuck in the mud here. And then we've got all this to manage. So I think our best bet here is to build a road. And do it that way. To be fair, we had issues with the Wayfarer getting out as well. So my thinking is we pull all our road equipment to the that's a good point actually. We have got a base. I forgot we got the dry stone. We'll pull all the road equipment to dry stone. Pour sand all the way along here. We probably won't follow the wood here. We may even just go across here. Make it a bit more direct, depending on how deep it is. Maybe I'll make that a bit more direct, maybe. Michael, good morning, how are you? Well, that may be the way to go, but I think without a road, we will not get this route done. There is no way. Where's that road? Oh, it's all up there, okay. Yeah, the convoy will never make it. In terms of quarry, obviously, this is all covered by this quarry. So we don't need to worry about sand, because we'll be able to do it all the way along, which is good to know. Right, so let's get this road made, and then once the road's made, the actual convoy, we just leave it doing its thing, and we can crack on with other stuff while it's doing it, which is what we like to do. But this map, we're going to make so many roads, and it is for the convoys more than ourselves. It's the convoys that get stuck, mainly because they choose to use a Wayfarer instead of what they should be using, to be honest. But there we go. Right, heavy. The Baycal is a heavy dumper. Pull that in and deploy out. So I think we start laying the road. I'm just trying to think where to start this off, because we're going to need to. The archaeologist camp up here is muddy here, so I think we may lay a road all the way here. To be fair, I wasn't going to lay everything, but I think we don't have a choice because we saw how bad the Wayfarer was even getting out of there. I think that's our only real option, is to make sure the whole route is a road, because the actual convoy is a Wayfarer too. So if our Wayfarer didn't get out of here very well, and we had to tow it all the way, it's going to be the same for the convoy. So this will be another big road on this map. So much road building. I really enjoy the road building, to be fair. I definitely don't. It's not something I dislike doing. It's just we're doing a lot of it. So where is this going to as a final destination? That way we know roughly where we go. So it's there. Okay. So we can lay sand from there down, I think. So we'll turn this round. It won't let us build a road fully all the way, but we do need to come slightly out from there. But I think roughly where that puddle is, we'll start there. And hopefully we can lay this fairly evenly. This way, this one, this way, this way. Yeah, it's going to depend on how long that all takes, doesn't it, really? It's just going to depend on getting everything organised. Right, let's start getting the sand down. So he won't let us do it there. So this is where we'll start the road up. My issue really is laying this, is trying to do this evenly. That's the struggle I tend to have. Yeah, this will be another long road, I think. And because it's not a mission road, we can't leave the AI to lay the sand. We have to do it ourselves. Any more? A bit more coming out there. There we go. Let's fill back up. At least we don't have to drive anywhere to fill up. At least the quarry is near enough nearby. So we don't have to keep stopping to move. So this needs to go quite a long way. Although these roads, although it's quite a long way you've got to take them to build them, actually doesn't take that long when you get going, to be fair. I think the slowest part is probably this part. Once the sand's down, the rest of it's fairly simple. It doesn't take too long. And then we'll start thinking about how we're going to get to the other place across the water. I do think a bridge is a really real option. But I think we also need to connect another bridge to it anyway. Thinking of the harbour base over here. Obviously we want to get the harbour base up and running, but we've got to get these two bits from over there. My thinking is we need to fix this bridge. Hope that should all connect. I think it will. But it's getting a vehicle there with some wood because it's such a long way to go until that's up and running. Although actually we could take the Voron from where we are now roughly and do it that way. Take a couple of bits of wood in the back for what we need. Drop off the wood for the bridge and then from there go and grab whatever the things are. And at least then it's nearby. That shouldn't be too bad, maybe. So I don't want to use tokens because we're going to need them for quarries still. That's my only concern with tokens. So we'll go and do this a bit here. I don't feel that kind of went down enough. It'll probably be alright once we actually smooth it out with the grader, but I don't know, it didn't feel like we did do that enough here. The bit I struggle with is doing the sand, to be fair. Although this is sand itself where the quarry is, so I don't know if we'll just be able to lay tarmac without the need for us to put our own sand down. But just in case. But yeah, that's my thinking. We take the Voron that's here. That should get to... And we can grab some wood as well for logs. I think we'll need 2 or 3, I think. We can do the bridge. So after this, that's what we'll do. Once this convoy's up and running, we'll go and do that so we can get that base up and running. And then we'll fix the bits where it needs more protection from the water that's done. We need a heavy crane. And the reason I want to do it yet is because we've got to drive a heavy crane a long way. Because if we can get that base up and running, we don't have to drive the heavy crane nearly as far. And the heavy crane's not too bad to drive. It's a fair distance. It's just about saving ourselves that time. How are we doing for time? Oh, okay, wow. Time is flying. We've got just under an hour left today. Hopefully plenty of time. I can't remember how many missions we've now completed. 2 or 3, I think. Plus other bits done. I think I'm excited about you getting to DLC just so we can use some of the new vehicles. The bridge layers are going to be interesting. I'm curious how they're going to work, to be fair. Right. Okay. Done. As I say, this takes the most time, I think. Right, so from here, we're heading out here. I'm going to try and lay sand across here. Because the wood's gone anyway. I don't think we need a bridge. I think sand itself should be enough there. I'm hoping, anyway. I don't see why it won't be. But then there's always a potential. it won't work the way I want it to. We'll see. I just don't feel I'm putting enough sand down in some places and too much in others, to be fair. Especially on corners and things like this. There we go. Yeah, it's one thing I've been getting into in my own time as well. I mentioned earlier DayZ. I've been doing a bit of that, doing a few community servers. I only get like an hour, playing like the evening sometimes when I can't sleep. It won't be coming to the channel. It's not something I think the channel would want, to be fair. But it is good fun. More the survival aspect, more than the actual meeting other people and that kind of stuff. I like the survival side. But yeah, it's a good time killer, to be fair. But because we focus a lot on the channel, I don't get much time to play just for me. So it's nice to have something that is just for me, not for the channel. Okay. I'm going to decide also, after this bit, I'll be going to the right. There's a wooden bit along the cliffside, plus also a route next to it. That's potential road. Or we try and make it a more direct route for the water, with the consequence being the water may be too deep. But we won't know until we try. That's my only thinking. Okay, let's see how we go over this wood. Where this bridge used to be by the looks of things. I think we need a decent covering for the wood, because obviously we don't want to get stuck on the wood. I still think I'm not laying enough in some places and more than enough in others. But I think once we smooth it out with the grader, it should be okay. I wonder if the DLC maps will be as bad as this. Because I'm going to do so many roads and things to make things work. The whole point is though, we are here to help the place get back on its feet. So actually, building these roads and this infrastructure is actually needed. My only concern, on top of that log being quite big there, is obviously if we need to lay any cables down, well, this road may be in the way. That's my only real concern. And we haven't really checked where cables are going. But then I suppose we have to put a hole in the road. We do it for we've never actually we've never had to destroy any asphalt as of yet. So we could always do it. We could fix it quick enough. It's just annoying. But then we do try and stay off roads, to be fair, when we're laying cables as much as possible. But I suppose we've got to cross the road section. That's the problem, isn't it? Okay, make sure we've got enough stand down in the water. I think it's doing a good job of covering the wood, to be fair, more than I thought it would. Just trying to lay it as evenly as possible, but yeah, once that's spread out and graded, it should be absolutely fine. I'm not too sure what we're going to do next in terms of which way we're going here. Well, so someone said this map was the one map that made roads on, and something's the worst one. Oh, was it? I was getting the two confused. Okay. Seems ages ago since we did those maps now, to be fair. But yeah, someone else said this was the one they built more roads on, did they? That's interesting. Thing is, we have built roads in other maps. Ones that hasn't told us to. Ones that have made our life and convoys easier. But yeah, we've definitely done more roads on this one than anything else. I was hoping we'd get the second section of the missions done on this today, because we've done the first one, the second now. But the lack of resources is the other issue here. we may have to buy and sell things for the first time. Because there is a massive lack of resources. I haven't seen the concrete factory yet, and I don't know if there is one. But yet we need concrete slabs for the Northlock mission. So we've got to figure out what we're going to do there as well at some point. Okay, that might be a little bit wonky, that bit. No, it should be alright once it's graded. Bit of a corner. Right, what are we doing here? So we need to go to here, and there is a bit of a track that goes alongside the wood. Rather than go along the cliff edge, I think we do along there. I think this may be too deep to go direct across here. So yeah, I think what we do, we follow this route. It goes along the wood. You can see the track there anyway. We'll lay the road there, and then it'll be round here. There is another track here to avoid the wood, in fact. So we could avoid laying on the wood as well there. So at least then if we have to pass a convoy, we can go on the wood while they're on the road. So that is doable. So that at least we can still get past. Right, you've got to lay quite a lot of sand in the water. I love the way the sand actually makes the water move as well. A lot of games you obviously don't see that movement, but in this it actually is an actual thing you can notice. But yeah, I think we'll lay the road then rather than go across the wood. I think that makes the most sense. But yeah, this is the only bit that takes time. Grading this is fairly simple. Asphalt and then rolling isn't too bad either. This is the bit that takes the time. And this is probably the most important part, because this is what the asphalt sticks to. So without this, your road wouldn't be anything. But I do prefer the AI doing this bit, to be fair. I just don't find them even enough of it. Okay. We're getting there. We do have to do this all the way though. That convoy will not make it otherwise. So once we get into here, we still need to go up here. We want to join it to this road here, and then the convoy should have no issues. Hopefully. I think it made it as far as that, didn't it? So it's coming out of this warehouse here. So yeah, it got to roughly here. Oh no, we're not going that way. We're going this way. But we'll go to the start of the warehouse around here somewhere. At some point we may need to do that, depending. Currently we just need to do where the convoy itself is going. I missed a bit there, I think. Although that should grade okay. And fill in that little hole. Definitely don't seem to get far before we have to reload and refill, do you? Okay, well that's refilling. What I'm going to do is square off the road a little bit. So if we come over to this side, it stopped filling because I did that, but we'll just fill in this little bit over here, just to be sure that we can make the corner okay. There we go, that's better. We didn't get a full load in there, to be fair. But yeah, just want to make sure that corner is... There's a lot of sand there to make sure we make it round okay. Because we'll end up putting quite a lot of asphalt down on that bit. We did, yeah. It wasn't brilliant, and that was on Sojourn, weren't it? Sojourn, sorry. I haven't managed to get working on this map. There's not, unless you put it in the forest itself, which you don't really gain much benefit from. There's not many sandy areas that I've found to help us on this one. But yeah, on Sojourn it worked really well. It's still a vehicle that I just think, it's a very niche vehicle. You're not going to need to use it very often, to be fair. And it depends on the terrain more than anything else. You know, you need a good sandy area to make it work. Right, lots of sand down the water. I'm meant to be going left here. I've gone slightly wrong. Although actually, no, we can connect this to the wood, but we'll also go left as well. Just think, if we want to overtake at some point, we go along the wood, it just makes this bit more manageable if we've got a bit of a road there as well. We're only going to the start of the wood bit where the front tyres are, really, and then we'll veer off next to it in a second. This means if we do overtake, we've got that join. So yeah, let's go this way. Make sure that joins up properly. There we go. Right, we want to go back on ourselves here, just so we can do that bit that goes off there, because that'll be where the main road will be. It's just so we can actually join the two up, really. So only problem when you do the sand, can't always navigate over it with this. Come on. Stop, 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 stop. Ooh, that might be too deep. Keep going, keep going. Obviously it's really bumpy where the sand is, hence why it has this issue. Okay, so we're going to come off to the left here. Not really the way I wanted it to happen, but we're there. Put in the gap. And then, yeah, we're going this way, along here. We don't have to follow it exactly where we can see it. We can make our own kind of route as long as it's not too deep. It would have been helpful on sand swept. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Probably would have been. I don't think it was unlocked, though, on that one, to be fair. I think it was level locked. But I could be wrong, actually. It might have been available. We just didn't notice it, or see what it can do. I think we tried it, didn't we, originally on one of the maps, and couldn't figure out what it did. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it would be helpful on this one, but you've got to put it in somewhere that's sandy. And other than the quarries themselves, we haven't seen anywhere really where it's going to work. We have tried, to be fair. I'm slightly off the route that's planned out, that's actually under the water. That's okay. As long as we put enough sand down. It's a good thing about the heavy dumper. It is quite good in some adverse conditions. There is a track dumper I've noticed in the shop, but it's not heavy and it doesn't carry very much, so I'm kind of loath to use it. It's not going to really help us with the amount it can carry. But we may have to end up buying it at some point and say we've got every vehicle. More than anything else. Right, we are getting there. I know it's taken a while, but this is what roads take. So we've got to get across to here, keep going along here. We'll go across to the side here, and then all the way to here. So we're getting there. It is time consuming. This is the bit that takes the most time. So once this is done, everything else will be a bit quicker. This is why we normally leave it to the AI when we can. It helps us massively. Just trying to make sure we put enough down, really, more than anything else. It will spread a lot when we grade it, to be fair. It's surprising how far the sand goes. Once you put the grader on it, it does seem to go a long way. Which is the main thing. If it wasn't for the convoy, we wouldn't need to do this. Because we manage it with our own vehicles. The convoy that requires this. But yeah, Northlock's got its own kind of motorway now with all the different roads we've done there. It's going to be in a town the way you can get around the infrastructure there. The only thing we've not done yet is lay any cables for electricity. And I'm sure we're going to have to. I think there's some in the infrastructure mission already. Because I think I can do that while it's refilling, we can look at other things. The port base over here, we've got the backup transformer, which isn't currently working. Main power station is missing something. Although that could be just we have to deliver a transformer there, to be fair. There's a couple of places I think we're going to need to put electricity cables down at some point. We have before done some of them ahead of time, just because it's nearby to what we were doing. You can do things before the mission comes up. You don't get penalised for it. It just gives you the reward straight away when the mission arrives. That's the thing. Right, across here, and then we're going across we're next to the wood, and then we're nearly there, to be fair. Looking forward to just getting the grader on this. It makes it so much easier. I had your new sand spreader. Oh, it does flatten. The grader we're using now is incredible. It really is. That's level lock though, isn't it? I think as well. Yeah, the first grader you get to start with is really bad. When you don't realise it until you start using the one we're now using, and then you realise how bad it actually is. It was always bad for moving it anywhere anyway. It's so unstable because it puts the bucket up so high when you put it on marching. Whereas this other one's more flat to the ground, so you've got no issue with tipping over as it's so low. Alright, across here. We get in there. That's the important part. Yeah, it's amazing how much it actually spreads it out, to be fair. There was a route next to this. I think I'm slightly off it. You can see how deep we are, but I think we're okay. Another mission, man. Another mission. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it did, didn't it? That was quite handy, to be fair. Little things like that do make you smile with this. I really enjoy the actual game itself and what we have to do, and it's problem solving as well, isn't it? You know, there's more than one way to do the missions. It's down to you whether you make the infrastructure like this to make it easier for yourself, or you know, you try and persevere and tow things. But there is a lot of choice. I know someone I know was playing this and they refused to build roads. Made life a lot harder for themselves because they wouldn't build any roads. Not ones that weren't obviously mission related. They were saying to me, yeah, they only do what the mission says, nothing more, nothing less. Whereas we've done extra stuff before just to make life easy like this. You know, this isn't. But he would tow stuff and push convoys. We've had to push convoys previously, to be fair. But yeah, he'd push them all the time if they wouldn't make it and stuff. It's just annoying having to do that when you can set it up and leave it doing its thing while you're doing something else. That's the thing. You know, it's always nice to have something else doing something else while we're busy, and you know you're still getting the rewards for it. Right, we just need to go up here and then take a left, and we'll go to the warehouse itself, just to the entrance. I think that'll be enough for it, and then we can start grading. Odyssey, I don't know. I've not seen him online, to be fair. It doesn't surprise me. He loves SnowRunner, to be honest, so I'm not surprised he's doing it. And, yeah, I didn't actually know until today when we were asked about it, whether this was multiplayer. Because we don't look at multiplayer stuff, I didn't even know you could do it like that. I know you could do RoadCraft with SnowRunner, but yeah, I didn't realise this could be done multiplayer. I should have noticed, to be fair. Because we don't look at or don't utilise, I hadn't realised. Imagine doing a road with like 4 people though. That'd be so quick. Although I wouldn't want to be the one laying the sand still, with everyone else waiting for them. But yeah, a lot of the things would be a lot quicker. There's definitely some benefits. If you've got a group of friends that play like that though, that's the thing. Right, I'm just going to take a left turn here. We haven't got too far to go, as we can see. A couple more loads. And then we get grading. What we're on for? 35 minutes or so? We should get the road finished today. And we have done a couple of missions. We are making progress. It's just things like this do slow you down, obviously. But they slow you down during that moment, but I think long term, obviously it makes life a lot easier. So do speed things up in the long run. All my sound it is in the sound. Right, we'll make this corner here a little wider, so am I outside the quarry zone? I thought we was in it all the time. I'm just outside. I didn't realise that. Okay. Obviously we need to make sure we do this bit, but yeah, we're just outside the quarry zone. Admittedly, we could just stick a big dumper here and go from there, but we haven't got far enough to go to warrant get another vehicle in, to be fair. Can it? I didn't. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was multiplayer as well, to be fair. I'd say because we don't do multiplayer, I don't really look, to be honest. Okay, we did see the convoy vehicles getting stuck around here, so should make sure we get enough sand here. I don't think I can feel. I don't think I'm still slightly out. I think. Yeah. Where do I need to get to? Okay, so we go forward here, slightly onto the grass. We should be able to fill up. There we go. Do I need more sand on that corner, or would it be okay? I think it'll be alright, to be fair. That's the thing, you kind of think you haven't got enough sand, then you grade it and it's like, oh, it's more than enough. Because of how it spreads it. And the new grader is actually a lot wider as well, I think, than the first one. So you get that more width when it comes to making your roads now. Whereas before we were doing 2 runs. 2 runs of sand and stuff just to be wide. Whereas now we don't need to. All of it. How far do we go? I think one more load and I think we're there, to be honest. I'm not in from here. But yeah, one more load, I think that's it. We'll be sorted. This bit here is quite dry and easy to navigate on. So yeah, we'll just do this last little bit. I don't think it's going to get stuck here, to be fair, but it's just to make sure it fully joins. So this will be the last load. I like the fact you can load like that and then still move, because at least we can keep moving around. There we go. That is a load empty, and that is that sand dump. We can now grade this as well. Keep switching that accidentally on. I don't like leaving this empty, so we just need to quickly get to a position where this can refill. I don't know, I think if you put it back to garage it would automatically refill, but I've always had this thing about making sure we leave it full in case we need more. Right, that's refilling. We can actually go and do other things while it's refilling. We're going to jump in back over here into the dry stone base. We need to pull the grader to here, as it is currently further away from here. Oh, that's a rusty version. Didn't realise that actually. Yeah, that wasn't quite what I wanted to do. Let's retain that. There is a bit of difference between the two versions, to be fair. Right. So we need to go to the right first and join up where we started the road, which is actually the final destination of, open these doors a bit wider, of the convoy, which is up there. So we'll start there and just follow it all the way around. And then we get to lay some tarmac, asphalt, tarmac, same thing. And then the convoy can do its thing. And then we need to get the Voron or the mule up to that area and see what we can do. I think we need a bridge. We need to load up materials for the bridge as well, which will be wood, obviously. I'm just going over a rock I have overnight. Trying to stay off the sand until we actually start grading it. I've done something silly. I think I've got a rock underneath me a little bit. There we go. There it is. It's a bit of a big rock, to be fair. I was trying to avoid the sand so we can actually start from the far end, but I didn't see the stone until it was too late. Right, there we go. So this is the destination of the convoy. So we're going to make it. So it goes all the way here. It also helps us get back here in the future. Maybe we should have gone a bit more into this area, because look at that there. That's going to be a pain in the butt to try and utilise, but we can always come back and do that if need be. I think adding to this will be absolutely fine. Right, let's get this graded out. I know they added the ability to turn off your vehicles. I still don't turn anything off. I don't. It's just one of those things you just don't think of when you're jumping to and from different things. Or I don't, anyway. There you go. Definitely wide enough. It always surprises me how wide this thing makes it compared to the first one. Whereas we're doing double runs to make sure we've got the width needed. As this thing just makes it so wide. Really quarry. As I say, this is fairly simple. At least there's no stop starting here. It is just do this, although on the corners sometimes they want to make sure we flatten it properly. Yeah, it's definitely, it's not a stop start as waiting to fill up with sand again. It's actually doing it really nicely. Especially now with the asphalt layers where it's white, the asphalt layer we've got now is also wider as well. It does make a big difference. Right, we are coming up to the wooden bridge in a second. That's going to be the bit that may be a bit awkward. We shall see. I'm just hoping we've covered it enough with enough sand so it doesn't have issues. This definitely isn't as bumpy as the previous ones we've done, to be fair. We're not moving around as much. Got out for these turning circles of the vehicles as well. Right, we're getting that. Over the wood a bit. This was about I was a bit concerned about, but actually that's gone okay. It's fairly flat. Okay, noticeable a little bit there, but there's enough sand there, I think. That was the only real bit I was concerned with, really. Looks like you could attach something on the back. Yeah, it does look like that, doesn't it? It looks like you could have a trailer on the back of it, to be fair. Whether it does really in real life or not, I don't know, to be fair. But yeah, you are right, it definitely looks like something could be attached there. But it's just the best thing for the job as well, that's the way. Right, we're trying to get this corner right. Right, how is it? It's actually not bad, I just want to push the other edge a little bit. It's always making sure, especially when they've got the longer vehicles, there's enough width for them to make the turn. So they have to start out wide. With that we just need to make sure it's not bumpy as well. That's actually gone okay. We've got 2 bits to do here. We'll go forward first, then reverse back and do the bit on the left. This is where we kind of missed the turn and then decided to make it part of it. But it won't do any harm. It's amazing how thick it is by the end of it as well. On the edges you can see how low it goes, especially in the water. Okay. The main thing is water isn't coming over the top. I don't know if the asphalt would actually lay if there was water on the top, to be fair. But just to avoid that if we can. Be interested to see if they bring any more DLC out for this. Obviously we haven't done DLC ourselves yet, but I haven't even looked at their roadmap to see if there is more plans. It's probably something I should look at to see if there is going to be more coming to this in the future or not, or they've done it, it's done and dusted or not. Hopefully it's not. I'm hoping they do add more to it and we get to come back. Obviously there's a massive range of vehicles that can still be utilised and added, and I think some of the vehicles we have aren't really utilised as much as they possibly could be. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any new maps coming that might utilise some of these other vehicles, like the sand vehicle, the scalper, whatever you want to call it. You know, things like that we haven't really utilised because there's no real need to. This map would have been good for it, but it's finding the sandy deposits that aren't in the quarry itself. Yeah, I'm hoping they do add some more to this. Obviously, we may start the DLC and change their mind, but I don't think we will. Okay. Actually nearly there, to be fair. It's tarmac time. Right, we're getting that. Got a left turn here, and then it straight runs to the warehouse, and then time to lay the asphalt. How are we? 20 minutes or so? We should be alright. I think we'll get this done. We started the day having to finish off a road we started on Monday by rolling it. Hopefully we don't have that today. Hopefully we'll just get it all done in one shot. I can't quite remember what the percentage of this map done was when we started today with that. Just go back here and quickly move this a little bit more. Make it wider for the turn. Yeah, I can't quite remember what we were percentage wise. We've done a few missions at least. Let's see if I can just do a little bit here. I did do a little bit there, not massive, but yeah, made it a little bit wider to allow for that turn. So it may need to connect it to the right at some point anyway, but we'll do that if we need to at some point. Yeah, there is so many more different designs, like you say, there's so many more things you can do, and there's different places in the world to go to. There is that scope, isn't it? It just depends on what the plan for it is. You know, some of the time it's the game gets developed and gets put out, and that's it. They're done straight away, and already on to the next thing. I'm hoping that's not the case. It'll be interesting to see other types of disasters and what we can do to rebuild places. Okay, we're good to go. So let's move this to one side as well. There we go. So we'll jump back to our base. We need to call in the asphalt layer next. A dry stone base. We're using the Arling Roadworks 120 Special. It's the largest, widest asphalt layer there is. Asphalt being tarmac for us in the UK. So we need to start at the far right hand side and we'll follow the road round. Other than some of the corners where we've made it a little wider, it should be a straight shot. And then we're just going to roll it. We normally would carry this on the back of something to get it to the start point. But considering we're right near the start point, I don't think it's worth it. It'll probably take longer to load than it would to drive it, to be fair. But yeah, I'm hoping they bring more. Like I say, have you seen a road map, Fraser Espen? At all? I'll have to just have a look around later. But yeah, I haven't seen one, but I've not really looked either. That's the thing. You have to be careful with this a little bit. It does have a mind of its own on stuff that's a little bit uneven. Once it gets going, it can have a little bit of speed though to it. Right, can we get up onto the sand? We can. Now on the sand, it should be fine. No, I'll have a look after stream today and see if I see anything. Be interesting to see. We're still waiting for a release date for the Mirage update as well. Because that'd be interesting to see what that adds to the game. To Assassin's Creed, I mean. And I don't know if there's any more coming to Shadows either, to be fair. Right, here we go. Asphalt lane time. Spin round. All this for a convoy. Right, let's go. So the nice thing about this asphalt layer is it is as wide as the grader makes it. So you can do the whole thing in one go. The only time it is when we've made the corners wider. But as long as you stay in the middle, it does do the whole thing. Did I miss a bit there? Was it okay? Oh, that's okay. So yeah, as long as you're in the middle. Sometimes it moves away from the middle itself. I think this is the first road we've made that goes through a quarry as well, to be fair. So we may need to go across the side a little bit on this one. Right, we go to there. Just going to quickly jump back and do this bit of corner. Come on, onto the sand. There we go. Okay. Make sure this whole corner's done, that's all. Right, straighten ourselves back up again. And we're back to doing it in one. These concrete bits are a bit annoying there. It's okay with that one, okay. You meant to do something like, okay, no worries. Got to remember, I can't tell who's here and who's not. If you're not you're not chatting in chat, I actually don't know who's here and who's not. When were you doing a live stream this morning? His mum's cousin, uncle. Who is it? Cousin, uncle? Which one? You do make me laugh, Michael. Yeah, see, I overlaid this and may need to put a bit more here. That corner. How's it looking? Yeah, we'll go back and do the bit on the left here. Just to make sure we've got the width ready when your vehicles come round. Okay. Next bit's over the water. Doctor Road Kings. Okay. Oh, how did it go? Was it a good stream? Yeah, you don't have to say, Crazy Ashman. Right, across the water. So you can feel the wood there a little bit, the logs out of the old bridge, it seems. You can feel them going over. It's not too bad. And that bit you can't feel them at all, to be fair. That's not how you get to know someone though, is it? Yeah, asking someone how old their father is isn't a way of getting to know someone. To get to know someone, you ask them their hobbies, their interests, that kind of thing. Okay, again, we may need to make this corner a little bit wider. Probably could have made this sand a bit better on this inside edge, to be fair. I knew that's going to happen. Come on. Back on the sand. Back on the sand. Or tarmac, asphalt. One of them. Just trying to make this a little bit wider than it is on the inside bit, although I don't think we'll be able to roll the inside that well, to be fair. That's a quite steep slope there that I didn't realise when we did it. Probably could have made that bit less excessive than it is. Let's get this wide section as well. There we go. Right, I'm going to head straight across to there, over there, and then we'll come back and go across over the water there. Definitely doesn't like the logs, does it? Make it easier for ourselves. Reverse without that being out makes it a little bit easier. Okay. Yeah, but that's not how you get to know someone, by asking that, how old their dad was. That's not getting to know someone. I'd say, if you want to get to know someone, you ask them the hobbies, their interests, that kind of stuff. But that depends if the person's willing to share that stuff online. Normally, a lot of people won't share things like that online. Having a bit of an issue here. I don't know why I think we're slightly going down a slope here. A little bit, so I didn't like that too much, but it's okay. I was wondering whether we get this roll today. Like we started today's stream having a roll the road we started on Monday and didn't finish. If we got my low gear, that would have helped. And we may have the same issue today. We are rapidly running out of time this morning. I'd like to get this rolled before we finish, but we may run out of time looking at it. The last hour's flown by, to be fair. So it's taken us nearly an hour to make this road by the looks of things, which isn't too bad. All for a convoy. It's not like, we'll benefit out of the road as well, to be fair. It'll be a lot easier with our vehicles, but the majority of the reason we're doing this is for the convoy itself. Because otherwise that convoy would have made it kind of gone off to the side there. Yeah, the convoy wouldn't make it without this being done. But we will benefit as well. Right, let's make sure we get it on the side there. Yeah, hang on. I said we're running out of time, so we've got about 10 minutes left, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Or 3.5 hours that we've done. But you're leaving to go to sleep, not because you're running out of time. But anyway, Michael, thank you for joining us, much appreciated. I'm sure we'll speak to you again at some point. Have a good sleep. Thanks, Michael. Okay, just gonna make sure we get this corner right. Probably should have squared this off more, but I was a bit worried about how deep the water was, to be fair. I'm looking forward to actually sending the first convoy up and just doing it. At least then we know it's worked better. We'll have to adjust the route though, because originally we were making them go over the wood areas. So we're going to need to adjust the route before we send it back off. So it's actually in the middle of these instead. We may get it rolled today. There's only a little bit more asphalt to go down. We may get it done. Right, just go to this corner. Just go around a little bit on this corner on the edging. Make sure it's wide. Not a bit too far to the side there. Yeah, make sure with whatever vehicle they're using for the convoy can turn. Trying to make that as wide as we can. And then we just need to come back on ourselves to the inside bit. And then that's all we've got left to do, and then it's roller time. Rolling definitely doesn't take as long. And then that will be us out of time, I think. Rolling will need to be done back and forth because it doesn't have the same width as the asphalt layer and the grader, to be fair. Slightly short, it's slightly not as wide. What's the word I'm after? Slightly not as wide is wrong. I don't think on the word I was after there. Right, nearly there, last little bit. There we go. That is the asphalt laid. Just going to get this out of the way, really. Put over here. And then we can grab our roller and get it done. I think that'll be us done for this morning once we've done this, I think, as well. It's amazing how long that is when you don't really realise when you're doing it just how far that is going. So we're using the Yarding Roadwork 750R. That's our go-to one at the minute. As I say, we'll need a back and forth. This isn't as wide as the others. Wider than the original one though. But yeah, at least we'll get this done today. And then it means Friday morning stream of RoadCraft. We can convoy on its way. We can go and see if we can make that bridge. So we can get the harbour base up and running. And then we can fix the port as well while we're there. That's the plan. And we'll start rolling. I know obviously we have to come back on ourselves anyway, but sometimes when you go three times on these, there's the width as well, especially when we make things wider in some places. Right, first stage done. And turn. I did have that going the wrong way then for a minute. Will we need to come back a third to do the middle, I wonder? Or can we get it in one width? Potentially, but maybe I'll do it in one. Or in two, I should say. Yeah. This bit isn't overly wide. So we can do it, I think. Not missing any. And then when we get back to where we started, we'll go to the right hand side and come back on the other side for the return leg. Yeah, it's definitely better than before when I was half asleep doing it. That day was horrendous. So, yeah. I know you said I should have stopped and stuff. It's just wanting to persevere and not let people down. I think that's the issue I have. No matter how tired I am, how much I'm struggling to stay awake at times, it's more not wanting to stop early because then I'm letting people down. I think that's the issue. The other half moans at me for doing it, to be fair, as well. But yeah, the machine we're using worked for a little while. I think definitely made us less drowsy in the daytime, and now I don't think I mean much benefit other than the obvious sleep apnea side of things. It's now not really helping anymore with the drowsiness during the day. I need to have a look when we do another return visit, to be fair. But supposedly it can cure sleep apnea. Although our case, they did say ours is severe sleep apnea. Just because the amount of times we stop breathing in our sleep is a lot. I didn't realise how much it happened until we were tested. And it's ridiculous how much we were stop breathing. My half used to tell me, it'd be like, oh, it'll be fine, don't worry. Because obviously your body will always try and live. So it'll always try and stop, you'll always get you breathing again. But when you see it in black and white just how many times it happens, it's ridiculous. Alright. We're getting there. As I say, we have extended the stream a little bit because we want to finish this off. It'll only be about 5 minutes or so, I think. Just so we can get this road done ready for Wednesday morning. Friday morning, I should say. Yeah, that's a bit we did there. What we do, we reverse back along the other side. We don't have to come back up this bit again. There we go. So we don't need to come back on this bit again now we've done that. Yeah, there's no point stopping half rolled. You might as well finish it off before we've stopped. And then this afternoon I'm going to need to record the channel update. Hopefully get some editing done. I'm desperate to get RoadCraft back on the channel and get ahead on some stuff as well for next week. But I also know I'm going to struggle this afternoon, I think. Let me go and let down your uncle stuff. No, I know. You are right, and I know you're right. But in that moment, that goes out the window. That's the thing. And all I think is, no, I've got to keep going. I don't want people to turn up at like 10 to 12 and I've already finished, kind of thing. I think that's the issue, isn't it? It's people that will come just to say hello in like the final 10 minutes or so. I don't want them to turn up and find it's already finished. Especially when we say what time we're going to and from. That's the issue. If we didn't have timings, it'd be different, I suppose. Right. Round this bend, to the left, and then we just need to come back on ourselves, and that should be job done. And then we'll end for today. But yeah, this afternoon I'll have a look at the roadmap for this and see if there's any information on what may be coming out in the future. It'd be interesting to see if they are planning anything else. Especially if they've got other games, like you say, Crazy Item coming out. I think I've got the DLC included for this without buying anything. So we've got the early edition thing. Founders Edition, I can't remember what it's called now. There was a separate edition of this you could buy, so you didn't have to pay extra for the DLC. So that's one thing we don't need to worry about. The DLC only has 2 maps though as well. It's not a big DLC. There's a few new vehicles like the bridge layers. It's not a massive amount, to be fair, so it'd be interesting to see if they are going to add more. Spraying this up. Okay, we're going to extend this in about 5-10 minutes to get this finished. It's amazing how long these things take. You don't feel like they're taking that long when you're doing them. It's only when you actually look at the time and stuff that you realise that actually takes a while. Without the strings of the one shouting on the telephone, okay, but you know. Oh, exactly. You definitely don't ignore her. Okay. So the return leg, just got to do this other side now, as the asphalt layer is wider than the roller. I think the first asphalt layer we were using was roughly the right width for the roller, but obviously wasn't as good as the new one. Wide is better. Especially when these convoys smash into you. Okay, we're getting that. Crossed the water one last time. Always constantly raining on this map as well. Always. They had a bit of sunshine, so much water would go away, to be fair. Can't remember what country this map is in either. Each map is a specific place in the world. And I rarely remember which one's which, to be fair. You got this fun out, of course. Like I say, Sojourn I thought was really easy. But to finish off the game with this, where you can try not to build roads, it'll be a lot harder to complete the convoys, I think. And the convoys are the main benefit out of these roads, more than anything else, I feel. They do benefit us, but not as much, because most of our vehicles can handle whatever terrain we throw at it. To a degree, it all depends on the vehicle, because we've got the better vehicles, generally. It's not too bad. I haven't looked to see if there's any modded stuff either, because I know that you can have mods on this on the PS5. Obviously there are going to be some mods that you can't have because of it. Same as any game that has mods these days, if it's on console, you can have some, it's just you're limited I think it's non-scripted mods, I think is what it is. But I don't know if there's any, like, there could be more maps on the mod hub, to be fair. I've not looked. I don't normally generally look at mod and stuff, but I wanted to do maps on there maybe. As long as they're similar to the basics ones, it'll be alright. Obviously we're going to get past this army there to the right. Why did I miss that? No, that's fine. I thought I missed it though, but my imagination taking over. Right, we are just about there, to be fair. This is the quarry, so we're right near the end or the start, whichever way you want to look at it. We won't set the convoy off straight away. Actually, we will, only because if I may forget on Friday morning to set the convoy off. So I think we'll quickly set it off before we finish as well. So then it will just wait until we come back. But I'll forget that we need to set it off, otherwise I know what I'm like. Oh, it's something boring to that. Okay. No vehicles though, interestingly. I wonder why that is. Obviously you get new vehicles in Farming Simulator mod hub, don't you? But the maps might be interesting. The problem is, yeah, it's whether they make them too easy or not. You want them to be tricky but not overly, you know, stupidly. I don't mind building lots of roads, but you need to be able to get to where you're going with something. But the amount of work these people put in, for no money either as well. A lot of people that make mods, they don't get paid. It's amazing what they can actually create. My little boy does it with Minecraft. Things he builds and stuff is incredible. Right, I think that's it. We're just going to roll it up to where we started, just to double check we didn't miss anything on this first bit. I don't think we did. No, it's all done. Okay, let's quickly chuck this to the side then, so we need it next time. Let's get this convoy set up and going, and then we are out of time for today. So we just need to make sure this convoy is on the road that we just done. Obviously, if it's not, it's going to fail. And after all this effort we just put in to build the road for it, obviously failing would not be good. We know we're driving a Wayfarer as well, so we know we've got to make sure we're in the middle of the road where possible. Its turning circle isn't brilliant as well, that's something to think about, the way it turns. So make sure we give it plenty of room and width to turn. There we go. This is Jenga map. Really? Jenga. Okay. Not what I'd expect, to be fair. It's like on, so we've had a few maps now where you drive a scout vehicle into a building and you have to push something down. That's always good fun. On this, obviously, we used a crane on that building on this one. We've done that on previous maps. That was always good. It's just getting that right. It actually works. So easy to get that wrong. Okay, use the full width here. Make this turn. So we're just doing this to set it off. We're not waiting for it to finish. It's just so when we come back on Friday, I don't forget that this is needed. That's all it is. Because the road wasn't here originally. That is nearly there. And then we'll look at what percentage we've still got left to do. I don't think we've achieved a decent amount, but I don't feel like we've done too much percentage wise. I think we've done 1 or 2 main missions and maybe 1 or 2 side missions as well. It's always hard, especially when you started the mission, you do the first bit tells you, not knowing it's going to then move on to something else. So you never really know just how much is left to do sometimes. Right, there we go. That is the route done. We'll dispatch vehicles and then we're going to come off because we're out of time, I'm afraid. Mission wise, we've still got a few things to do. obviously. Supply Northlock Village with resources. The issue with that is obviously we need to make steel beams. We also need the concrete slabs, which we can't make. We may need to buy those. The archaeologist camp with requested resources, that is happening currently. We've got to build the flood wall to protect the shore along the machine yard. That's up by the ports. We're looking to do that once we've got the base there up and running. So we've got to plan a route for concrete supply. That's probably going to need a road as well. 5 archaeological sites and transport parts and materials to the radio tower from the machine yard. That is what will get us up and running with the base by the port, which will then move us on to do what's there as well. But that is us, as I say, out of time for today. Let's see what percentage we are. I'm curious. Yeah, Jenga map sounds tricky, to be fair. But yeah, hopefully today, record channel update and do some editing. So we're now 35% done. I can't remember what it was at the start of the day. 35% done on Kernel, which is the final DLC, final base game map, sorry, before DLC. 5 of 17 infrastructure, still lots of infrastructure to do at some point. That's going to be metal pipes, replacements, a couple of roads maybe, also electricity cabled as well. I think there'll be a few bits of that coming up. 12 of 33 main objectives and 3 of 9 side objectives. We're getting some more tokens. The logs haven't changed, to be fair, but we do need to build some bridges as we go forward. But as I say, that is us for today. We are out of time. 90.6 hours now in as it stands. We're doing well though. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you for joining us. It's very much appreciated. Crazy Irishman, thank you as always. Very much appreciated. We're playing a game of Jenga, are we? Okay. See you on Friday. Tomorrow you're off to be well. Okay, well hopefully your ultrasound goes okay, Crazy Irishman. And I'm sure we'll speak soon. Thank you. But that is me. That is us done for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the views, and the conversation. As I say, we're back tomorrow morning with Assassin's Creed Shadows as we continue our Platinum hunt. And then Friday, we're back in RoadCraft as we continue on Kernel, the final DLC map. Thanks for the like, followers, much appreciated as well. But that's me. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll see you in a live stream very soon. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.